No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we're having a talk with the man of the moment, somebody who has been making a lot of waves, a lot of noise, to say the least. Today we have Hernandez Govan on the podcast. How you doing, man?
Hey, what up, Al?
How you feeling?
Feeling good, bro. Hype still.
Excellent. I'm with Remo, so nothing to complain about.
What up, Remo?
I seen you guys conspiring in the corner earlier.
Nah, yeah,
No?
Just
chopping it up.
We just chopping it up, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, Remo keep his ear to the street.
Yeah. Well, he's a Southern boy, too, so you guys got that in common?
Mississippi.
You felt it right away?
That's what we was chopping it up about. Yeah. We want conspire.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, a conspiracy could be anything.
Yeah. I don't even know the definition of it.
Just get that out the way just to start things off.
Yeah.
All right, so just to get the full story from you, I'd like to do a little bit of background information and everything. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing and everything.
I grew up in the Orange Mound community. Basically like any other urban, I guess you would say ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs, violence, you know, all of it was around me every day, all day. So, you know, it was impossible to escape. So, you know.
What was your home life like?
My home life, like, it was cool. You know, my mom, she made sure she did whatever she could to make sure we had the best of what we could have, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I don't remember a time going without, so, you know. And if my mama didn't have it, my grandmama did, so, you know.
Okay, and Pops just wasn't around?
Nah, my Pops was, shout out to my Pops, because we cool now, you know what I'm saying? But growing up, my Pops wasn't in my life, you know, but he was just married to the streets.
Okay.
You know, I understand. I don't hold it against him or nothing like that. So my Pops actually came to my trial, so, you know.
So you would see him from time to time, even though he wasn't really in the family life?
No, it was times I probably went, 10, 15 years without seeing my dad.
Really?
Yeah, so, you know. But I knew who he was, and then when I got older, when I would bump into him, you know, when I got to moving around the neighborhood, getting money, and I see him, you know, and I still always give him $20, $30 or whatever, you know, whenever I see him, just because he was my dad.
Oh, you're making it sound like he wasn't doing too good.
Yeah, my pops was at one point in time, he was having a rough patch, but he good now, though. Yeah, he got 2 Cadillacs, a Lexus,
Oh,
and everything.
Wow.
With one leg.
With one leg?
Yeah, with one leg. Yeah.
Where'd the leg go?
He had to have it amputated. Yeah, for sure.
It'd be like that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, describe us Orange Mound, because like when we hear Orange Mound, that's in Memphis, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's a neighborhood in Memphis.
Yeah, neighborhood.
North, south, east.
It's
like,
more so south.
Oh, South Memphis.
Yeah. Close. It's not South Memphis, but you know, right borderline. Like, yeah.
What rappers come from Orange Mound?
A-Ball and MJG. We got Eddie Valero.
Right.
He hot right now, the little homie from the hood. He hot doing his thing, been doing his thing for a minute.
That's not where Project Passed from?
No, Project not from the Mound.
I think I just remember him saying it a lot when he was like listing off the different parts of Memphis.
Probably so. Yeah, you know, we got Squeaky, DJ Squeaky, legendary, beat maker, one of my partners too. So yeah, for the most part, if I'm missing anybody, man, forgive me.
And would you say you were more interested in like the streets, or were you interested in business and the music side of things as well as a young dude?
Well, you know, I was interested in money, you know, so whatever. In high school, you know, I played sports, and I kind of like got off on the wrong exit, and started dealing marijuana. And so that kind of led to my, you know, going to negative the negative energy, I guess, negative activities, I guess.
So you were trying to double team this thing and compete in sports, do the sports thing, and then sell weed as well?
Nah, when I started selling weed, the sports thing became a past life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have potential in that regard? Do you think you were going to make it as an athlete?
Definitely. I was very athletic. I got a lot of scholarships in track or whatever, running track, going to different colleges or whatever, but I turned it down because I felt like the fast life, the streets was the thing to do at the time.
I mean, that's one extremely consistent thing doing this podcast is that I'll always be talking to somebody who had like a ton of potential with sports or education, and then they'll just get like a little taste of the street life, and they're just done.
Yeah. Once you make your first bankroll, it's almost over with. It's like the streets got the hooks in your back. Yeah, if you like money, But really, when you're looking at it that way, like in school, I'm gonna give you an example. Like, I guess the dudes that gamble and could dress real good, and maybe a few of us did have a little marijuana in the 12th grade or whatever. We thought that we were the flyest dudes in school, and we laughed at the dudes that was basically going to college that did they homework and all of that shit, you know what I'm saying? So, but the whole time we was the fools. We was laughing at them. We was the fools because if you look at them right now, they living a great life, no felonies, dating the same type of girls that street dudes could, you know what I'm saying? And they got money. So, we just chose the quick route, which was the dumb thing to do.
Would you say you were influenced more by like music or the people that were around you in the neighborhood?
Nah, it was definitely my environment and the people. I grew up around hustlers. Yeah. I grew up on Bradley. My next street was Haynes, so you got some legendary dudes from both streets. So so with that being said, it was in my face.
But you tried to get into the rap game at one point, right? Even if it was on the management side.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I tried to get in the rap game. I guess you can say that. I tried to make an investment.
Yeah.
I was approached about making an investment with Moneybag, and by a close partner of mine named Lil Larry.
Yeah, I missed out on it.
Yeah, we missed out on it because at the time, for whatever reason, my brother said it didn't catch his ear. And so we passed, and look where Bag at right now. So, we kind of built about that for years, for quite some time.
Because every street dude is like plotting on some future investment that's going to help them to not have to break the law for a living.
Yeah, because anybody that want to be in the streets, you got to be retarded.
Yeah.
Like, I did it, and the people that I know do it, we do it to survive. To take care of the kids or whatever, and take care of yourself or whatever, just to make a way of living. It may not be legal, but you surviving and you paying the bills. But, who want to be riding around with 10, 20, 30 pounds of weed and going to meet this nigga at this spot, going to meet this dude at this spot, looking in your rearview for the police, and don't nobody I know in their right mind want to do it.
Right.
But if you got to do it, you will, to eat, to survive.
It might seem cool or dramatic when you're a kid, but as you get older, you start to realize that if you could have the same opportunity to make the same amount of money but have no risk, then your life would be a lot better.
Definitely. Hell yeah, for sure. If you could be doing something legit, legal, and making the same type of bread or more or close to it, whatever. Even if it's not as much money as you would make in the streets, you're still not going to jail. You're not taking a risk of going to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But before the Moneybag situation, you was running around with Flip.
Yeah. So that wasn't me trying to, well, I see you do your homework, Remo. That's crazy. Initially back, when I was in the streets and having money, I reached out to Flip, and I brought him in and invested on a show. He came in, we had the show. It was cool, it was successful, and I also would see Flip in LA too, at this old lady house. Her name was Miss Grace. Well,
which Flip are we talking about?
Lil Flip.
Oh, Lil Flip from Texas. Okay.
And so, I would see him over there. She would have the pints of syrup back in the day, old lady. And off of Century Street, and she had boxes of drink. And so one day I seen him over there, and it was a time when she had ran out, so she called me, and I turned around. And she asked me to take care of her Houston boys for her. They was in town for a show. So I looked out for him, and he told me if I ever needed him, just hit him up. He'll return to hospitality. And I think it was a situation that I had going on in the streets at that time, and I had a warrant and I needed to move around. I reached out to him, and he told me, he was like, just go get you a ticket, pull up, and when you get here, I reimburse you. And I did, and pulled up, and ever since then, you know, we was locked in. So, you know, it was more so like we built a bond, like, you know, that was my little brother, you know, still is my little brother, you know, so yeah, that's how that started.
So what was the situation with y'all and T.I. though? Because I seen the picture. You was there the night they got into the fight?
Yeah.
I think T.I. chain got stolen?
Yeah, that's when he had the Pimp Squad click chain or whatever. And, you know, we was at the house chilling, and Flip got a call from somebody that worked at the radio, and was just like, I fuck with you, bro. I want you to hear this from me. And T.I. was at the radio station and saying he was finna go to the Clover and parade around and look for this fake gangster. So, you know.
And this was after he got his chain took?
No, this is what led up to it.
Oh, okay.
Game Over song out yet, or is the music out?
Game Over song out.
So Game Over song out.
Yeah, so.
So this in the midst of all the beef.
Yeah, so we at the house, and I think we was getting tatted up at the time. We like, come on, let's roll.
Yeah.
So we go to the hood, and he pulled up, and I think he was with, I want to say he was with Bun B at the time.
Or T.I. pulled up.
Yeah, he pulled up, and he was like, yo, what up, man? You need to rap, homie, talking to Flip. And at that time, I think he had said something about my pops, Big West, which is Flip's dad. I love him like a father. He had said something about Big West on record. And so at the time, it wasn't really nothing to talk about or whatever. So, you know, my partner ended up hitting T.I. in the face, and a big brawl ensued. And in the midst of it, we ended up with the chain.
Right.
Yeah.
So was there any kind of concern in terms of taking sides in this beef for you at that time? Were you concerned about being cool with both sides, or you're just like, I'm riding with Flip, so whatever?
I wasn't cool with T.I.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't cool with it at all. You know, at the time, Flip was my little brother, and that's what it was, you know. I was just rolling with Flip.
I mean, the popular narrative, and I actually seen that there was I think it was Art of Dialogue, there was like a clip of Lil Flip talking about this the other day and basically rejecting this idea, but like the mainstream narrative was basically that Lil Flip and T.I. were kind of like neck and neck, and then T.I. basically like just surged ahead, became this huge rapper, and kind of left Lil Flip in the dust / like destroyed his career. And Flip obviously takes issue with that narrative, but from your perspective, was that basically how it went on the ground?
I ain't gonna say he destroyed bro, because you know, we was still moving around doing what we needed to do. We was still touring, doing shows or whatever. I think what affected it the most is because a lot of rappers at that time, for whatever reason, had an issue with Lil Bro. And when T.I. came along, he was real hot, and a lot of them took sides with T.I. From Houston. So when the general public, when the hip-hop world or whatever see that, when people from your own city, rappers, your peers, siding with a dude from Atlanta, it kind of, you know, leaves his imprint on it.
Yeah.
Has an impact or whatever, so to speak. But to answer your question, he definitely didn't destroy us. We were still moving around, you know. Did it have an impact on Lil Bro? I'd be lying if I said it didn't, because it did.
And this shit is all a popularity contest at the end of the day. So if the people start viewing you like you're the op, they got beat by the new hot rapper, I mean, that could be a tough narrative to beat. Definitely. So, you know, yeah, it had its impact. But one thing about Lil Bro, he a hustler. He gonna figure it out. And that's what he did. Did you and Flip fall out at any point, or you just kind of slowly start moving around together?
As far as falling out, that's my little brother. So, you know, we have a big argument at least once a year. And it's done been times where Big West, which is his dad, and locked us in the room together.
Really?
Yeah. And, however we decided to work it out, that was between me and Flip. We never came to blows or nothing, but, the day I got indicted, when they put me in the room, I still had my phone, and he was one of the people that I called.
Really?
So, in that situation, to know you just been indicted for 3 murders, and for him to be one of the people that I call.
Kind of says a lot.
Exactly. So, as it relates to now, I just been moving how I've been moving, and that's still little bro. Do I have issues with some of the things or he do or how he operate? Yeah, but it don't change the fact that that's still my little brother, and I still love him to death. I done been that person, like, the front line person, the person you see with him right now, that's his right hand. I was there protecting and defending against him at one point, because, we all have our issues. Yeah. And I ain't saying Pawn don't love Flip, because I know he do, but, I was there when, shit was crazy, and me and Pawn, we done had our spats, and turn around, we be in the truck together the next couple of nights, you know what I'm saying? So.
You ever have to save Flip's life?
Have I ever had to save Flip's life?
It sounds like you were the protection here at a certain point.
I wasn't necessarily, I ain't gonna say the protection, that's just my little brother, I ain't no nigga protector, I ain't gonna do nothing for you that I hope you wouldn't do for me. It's done been moments where we moving around, and I think, my presence probably has negated a few situations. We've never been in a situation where we've never been in a shootout or anything like that, but we done had standoffs, we done had situations where, fans or just T.I. fans or whatever, might get disrespectful, and, and I do me. And so with that being, I wouldn't call that saving his life. I would just call that just standing on business.
Definitely. Okay, so I mean, you said that you like got into the streets and all of a sudden you were selling weed, but like how deep into that kind of operation did you get in terms of like how much money were you really seeing at a certain point? Did you find that you really had like a business mind for how to hold this sort of operation together?
I mean, when I say, I guess from the Vlad interview, when I say petty marijuana.
It was funny when you're saying that, because I'm like, nobody in the street says petty marijuana. I sell petty marijuana.
Yeah. Well, I say that because I done seen lots of it. You know what I'm saying? Like 100 pounds, 50 pounds to me is petty marijuana.
Oh, that's definitely not petty marijuana.
I mean, it is. I know some Chinese, they lose tons of pounds of marijuana and don't lose a minute of sleep about it. So 20, 30, 40 pounds is petty marijuana where I'm from.
I know dudes who are millionaires that will still sell you an eighth or a quarter.
Yeah, I know.
That's petty marijuana.
Yeah, I know. I know a few of them too. And that's the reason why they're millionaires, because they'll still sell you an eighth of marijuana.
And when I see that, I'm like, oh, you're losing your hustle, because there ain't no way I'm bagging up a quarter right now. But I respect it that you're.
Man, I got a partner, and I ain't gonna call his name, for sure a millionaire. I love him like cooked food. Right to this day, he'll buy 5 or 10 pounds of some real good smoke just so he could smoke for free. So he won't have to pay for it. But he already rich. So, it teaches on.
But it is true that a lot of people spend like really, truly outrageous amounts on weed. So I get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people smoking a pound a week with the homies, especially,
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you got some homies, I could see that. But, like me at I think in my peak of smoking, at one point I could say maybe I could run through maybe an ounce a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, an ounce a day. Just, I ain't gonna get on here and say no goofy ass ounce or whatever.
People always try to go viral. I smoke 50 blunts a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
So at this time, I guess you was flipping packs, and people assume that the money, because at one point you was managing Straight Drop.
Correct.
And how did you?
I wouldn't say managing, because I wouldn't know necessarily all the ins and outs of managing someone in hip hop. I was trying to, but I do know how to make a profit, and I do know some of the ins and outs of how hip hop go. I know several people that have invested in artists from different neighborhoods, and when it's time to sign to the majors or whatever, they straight for the rest of their life. So that's the situation and the position that I was in. I was just trying to basically, I guess, an agent more so to speak. You
didn't want to be the guy taking them around to do club performances every day and shit, but you were thinking, this guy seems like he has the talent to get signed to a legitimate label deal. I want to basically guide him into that opportunity and then get my percentage.
Definitely. He definitely had the talent. He definitely had the street credibility.
How did you meet him, and where he from? What part of Memphis he from anyway?
If you ask Drop that question, he might tell you 2 different neighborhoods. But he got a right to say he from Orange Mound. And I met Drop through J Money. And I'm sure you know who that is.
J Money serving everybody of Atlanta.
Negative.
Oh, you got a different J Money?
Talking about the real J Money.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, J Money from Orange Mound. He was the leader of Chula Mafia.
Oh, okay. Got it. Here I am getting the wrong J Money in there. Okay. There's a lot of J Moneys from every city. But, okay, he introduced you. And what was your relationship with him?
J Money just was one of the little homies from the neighborhood, when we had the nice cars and stuff in the neighborhood, J Money just was one of the little homies. You seen it in him, you seen that he was going to grow up to be one of them. And, and everything you envisioned for him was turning out that way. As you see, he was right there running with Dolph and, with Bag, and, everybody loved J Money.
Yeah.
If you ain't like J Money, it was probably something wrong with you.
Because there's a photo of Straight Drop hanging out with Young Dolph. So would that be the J Money connection?
Yeah, that would be the J Money connection.
Word.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, that was J Money's doing right there. Dolph was never a personal friend of Straight Drop, so whatever, I think Glock and Drop had a relationship or whatever.
But didn't Straight Drop have a paper route chain at one point?
No.
He didn't?
No, he never had a paper route chain. That was the paper route chain that one of Straight Drop partners took from Moochie Grape.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I think his name was Wayne or something. Bang Wayne. Yeah.
So when we see the images of Straight Drop rocking the PRE chain or whatever, that's one that had recently been relieved from a member of PRE.
Correct.
And that's why they're wearing it, is to troll and everything.
Yeah, he was just trolling. He wasn't wearing it. A lot of people thought he was wearing it because he was trying to sign to them or something like that. He was just trolling in the video.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay, so but how far along in the game was Straight Drop at that time that you met him? Like, was he? Do you remember like how many views he was getting or how much interest there actually was in him at the time?
So when I met him, he always knew how to rap, but he didn't have the. He had the buzz amongst his peers. He always been popular, in his age group or whatever, and so again, he rapped back then, but it didn't. It wasn't like how it was when we were in talks, and trying to get him signed to a major.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you're talking to Straight Drop and everything, is it are you concerned about how this is going to impact your situation streetwise? Like, are you looking at him as somebody who's involved in so much beef and everything that this is something that you got to be super aware of?
Well, you know, tell me a rapper right now that ain't involved in the streets like that, you know. You with the drill culture, you know what I'm saying, drill rappers or whatever, you know, so it was always, to answer your question, it was a concern, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, straight drop was straight drop, you know, he get busy, you know, so when I had that talks with my brother trying to convince him to help me invest, that was one of my brother's main concerns. Like, what if we do this and he on federal probation, and what if he go and anything happen in the streets, you know, then the money is just a loss.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just trying to reassure him and that, you know, I would do everything in my power to make sure that Justin, you know, was just solely focused on music.
Uh-huh.
And so we came up with the idea of, well, let's just give him 10,000 as an advance.
Okay.
And if we give him the 10,000, I get him to agree, look, this for you. You don't have to be in the streets trying to be selling no weed and moving around. Just focus on making some music and let's just try to get this shit out the ground. So that was the plan we came up with, but you know, it didn't work out like that.
Right. When you say your brother, you're not talking about Jook.
Negative, no.
I'm
talking about my brother.
Your real brother.
Yeah.
All right, because there was a story where, because I guess you have a relationship with Jook and you had a business meeting about Straight Drop.
We did.
All right, and how did that business meeting come into place?
Well, this was more so when I first reached out to Jook, you know, and I told him, I was just like, you know, one of my little partners just got released, and you know, he real talented. He liked that, you know. He got a lot of street credibility, which that's a requirement today of the rappers.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, you need to come check the material out. And based on the relationship, the respect, I guess, or whatever, Jook pulled up in Orange Mound to come check out the material. And when he pulled up, and at the time, Drop had a few videos on YouTube. We showed him the videos. He watched the videos, and surprisingly, he was impressed, you know. And he was just like, you know, we need to get his buzz up stronger to the point where the higher ups would be interested, and we could go ahead and pull the plug on it. But from what he seen that day and the conversations that we had, he was all in.
Word. And how did you? How did you and Jook form a relationship? And when did y'all meet each other?
Just from, you know, like I said, I'm real close to Jook's mom married had a marriage or relationship years ago. I'm very close to that person and basically to their whole family. So, you know, it was always a respect based on that. Started gambling together, drinking syrup. You know, it may not be no syrup in the north. He might call to the Mound. It might not be no syrup in the Mound. I might call to the north. You know, just when we were younger, you know, I don't drink syrup no more. So, you know, but, you know, we just formed a bond and, you know, off of that, you know, just your ordinary, I guess, street respect.
And so even you and Big Jook having this relationship, you never were around Gotti?
Never. You know, when Gotti was always, you know, out of town doing his thing, you know, the music, you know. Jook was more so the streets. Not to say that Gotti wasn't, you know, because Gotti definitely was in the street, you know.
But when you look at all this stuff going on around Gotti and the fact that he seemingly is able to keep his nose clean, it feels like that's a very conscious decision, that they don't want Gotti to even be able to be in situations where it might look like he was involved with something, because they know how negative that could be towards the sort of empire that they're building. Does that feel like it's like a calculated choice?
I don't think it's more so, I haven't thought about that until you asked the question, but
Okay.
I don't think it's more so calculated. I think he just move how he move. You know, he always been like that. You know, you don't have to know him to see how he move. You know, he never responds to the hate. You know, or whatever the case may be. So I don't think it's more so calculated. I think it's more so just him. Or it could be a little bit of both.
Right.
Yeah, I know, because I try to move calculated and strategic. So, you know, it might be a little bit of both.
We've just seen so many Ricos where the star rapper, the young thug of the situation, or the Lucci is like actually ordering stuff, never mind driving people around to do stuff. And like when you look at Gotti, it's kind of like, oh, I feel like you're someone who you've seen the game, you've been watching it play out for all these years, and you don't want to end up in that situation. So you make sure that you stay very far away from any kind of street shit.
Yeah, for sure. He you know, his upbringing was, I guess it served him right, and I guess in certain, you know what I'm saying, instances, you know, he seen it all at an early age, you know. So, you know, I think if I want to correct me if I'm wrong, I think his mom went to prison, federal prison, maybe one of his aunts or something like that, or whatever. So, you know, he always been around, and he knew the streets at an early age, I'm sure, you know, because it's right there. So I'm sure he know the do's and don'ts. He probably learned them sooner than a lot of other people did.
So you are forming this relationship with Jook and everything, but did you have a relationship with Dolph prior to this, or how well did you know him?
I mean, me and Dolph didn't have a relationship where I wake up on the phone and call him, hey, what up, bro? What you got going on? And pull up on me. It wasn't nothing like that. It was, if I had some good weed in Orange Mound that they didn't have necessarily access to at that time in Castalia, there's been times when he's called me and I've called him when he's had a certain grade of marijuana or strand that I didn't have. And, you know, so, you know, yeah, we've done those type of transactions for sure. And,
okay.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, Big Daddy Yo, the leader of Paper Route, good dude. Know him personally. Been in them rooms hustling all night with, you know, doing what we had to do.
But so are you thinking, like, by aligning yourself with Jook and Straight Drop and this sort of CMG side, that you're naturally going to kind of become at odds with PRE and Dolph? Or are you thinking, like, I'm just doing business, so I'm not going to really be seen as being...
Yeah, it was more so, you know, because I never was interested in getting... I ain't want the fame that came with it. I just wanted my name on that contract where I get my percentage.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be Diamond Dash or none of that. You know, I just wanted to be able to take care of me and my kids for the rest of my life and generate some wealth, some income for my kids and their kids. So, you know, that was my plan. I ain't never want to move around. I ain't never want to be on Vlad. I ain't never want to be on no Jumper. And I'm a big fan of the show. You know what I'm saying? Follow it for sure, because I'm a hip hop, you know, I come from that era, so.
But some people end up in this position, and some people, the whole goal is to become a media personality or to do enough beefing or enough controversy that they could end up on a show like Vlad or No Jumper. You were just trying to do business, make some money, and then you ended up in the situation where people like us wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, correct. You know, and at the same time, you know, I always been, I who don't like money, and so, you know, if it's a situation where I could potentially capitalize off of negativity, then I'm gonna do it. You know, so I've been seeing a little, you know, backlash and people saying things about my channel, my YouTube channel, which is at quitpics.com. And so, you know, they can be upset or whatever, but at the end of the day, I feel like if they was in my shoes, they would do the same thing, you know. It fell in my lap. I didn't go looking for it or whatever. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is kind of weird because you're like famous for something that you didn't do and that you weren't found, that you were at least not found guilty of. but it's like inevitably like some percentage of people are going to view you as essentially taking credit for the charges that you beat by doing media talking about all the charges that you beat. It's kind of like a tricky role for you to be in, huh?
Well, yeah, for the ones that think like that, I think they should, you know, maybe watch the Vlad interview. You know, I ain't never been a goofy to take credit for something that I played no parts in. I absolutely, positively didn't have anything to do with the murder of young Dolph. I'm gonna give you an example, and I ain't get this to Vlad. I've been in the streets a long time, right? I think you could say I probably jumped off the porch maybe when I was maybe 16 or something like that. I was gambling before then, but I wouldn't necessarily call that jumping off the porch. I started getting money, started like dealing drugs maybe when I was 16. And with that being said, I was probably, when Dolph got killed, I probably was maybe, 41 or some shit like that. I mean, I've been in the streets a long time. What idiot, you know, gonna go on a drill, conspire to kill someone as famous as Young Dolph and agree to park the car across the street from his house? Like, some shit just don't make no sense.
That is not what you do. You burn the car, destroy the car.
I've been on this street 40 years plus. Know everybody on the street, from the older people, the younger people, everybody. Why would I park the car across the street from my house where I sell drugs?
You're saying that that's something that some knuckleheads who did this might do, but it's definitely not something that you would have. If you were a part of the conspiracy,
ain't no way
you would have told them to do it a lot smarter than they did.
Even if I advised them or didn't, ain't no way that car coming back across the street from my house.
All right, let me ask you about that. So when the shooting did happen, the white Benz went viral, and we seen pictures of it outside of I guess people was calling it a trap. So you saying that was your home outside across the street was where you was living at?
Well, the yard that the car was found in,
yeah,
my spot was directly across the street from it. So.
And that was such a smoking gun when that information came out that we were like, oh, now we know exactly how this situation played out.
Yeah, you know, and you would think that, especially if you don't know the dynamics of my street that I grew up on.
Yeah.
Like, I had a god brother at one point named Bobby Carter, and he's deceased now. That's how I met Cornelius, through him. He brought him around. And with that being said, Cornelius was on that street before I was even released from prison, you know, based off of, you know, Bobby. You know, he had a pass to be over there on the strength of Bobby. So he didn't need me to be on the street chilling or whatever the case may be. So when the car was parked at that location, if you don't necessarily know that he had a relationship with Bobby prior to me, you don't know. The only reason you think he might park that car on the street is based off of me and his relationship. But he was on that street before I even got released from prison. And that was with Bobby.
You knowing both Straight Drop and Cornelius, why would they park that car there if you just had to guess?
If what was reported is true as it relates to him being shot, I just think they panicked, maybe. From what he testified to, he said Justin was shot, grazed as well.
In the shoulder or?
In the back or something, I think. And if that's the case, you know, if you just coming off a drill or a high profile drill like that, both of y'all shot, I just think they panicked and wasn't thinking. You know, that's the only sense I could make of it, you know.
Cause they shot multiple music videos. Straight Drop had multiple music videos in that same yard of the house So everyone was like, why would you?
Well, I wouldn't say multiple. He only
At least one of
he had
them.
one.
All right.
And yeah. And so, with that being said, if you got a video that you shot in their yard, you just made more sense of it, Remo. Why would you park the car you just killed Dolph in the same yard where you shot a video with? That's panic. That's the only thing that I could think of. I done been in them situations before, so it's like everything happening fast, so, and it definitely wasn't a conspiracy, because if it was, they would have had something better than that,
Outside of Bobby, what was you and Cornelius's relationship? How did y'all start getting around each other and build a better bond?
You saying before Bobby introduced me to him, or you saying or after?
Outside of him, because you said you met him through your cousin. So like y'all obviously grown your own relationship.
I met him through my god brother, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And so he was addicted to pills, you know what I'm saying, X pills or whatever the case may be. I had access to him. I always been a hustler. It's my past life. I don't sell drugs and nothing like that no more. But that was the only relationship that I had with him. He would come over, buy pills. He might buy weed every blue moon or whatever the case may be. He just started calling me big bro for whatever reason. I guess just on the strength of Bobby. But if it wasn't for Bobby, I wouldn't even never met that dude. I mean, he's a bum. I mean, a junkie. I wouldn't have never had no type of dealings with him, period.
Because I did hear you say on Vlad, so all right, so you and Jook had the meeting with Straight Drop.
Correct.
At your house. And during that time, or during the meeting, Cornelius happened to walk up to your house and knock on the door. And he actually told you, he was like, you heard he's out here trying to kill Gotti. But you said you didn't want to bring that to Jook's attention at the time, so you just disregarded what he said. And I guess, I don't know if you served him.
Where you heard it from, Remo?
On the Vlad TV interview you just did.
Yeah.
You said on the Vlad TV, when Straight Drop was there.
I thought you said, no, I ain't saying you lying.
Yeah.
You definitely heard it. I thought maybe you said, you got it out of Discovery or something like that.
No, it was, I heard you say
Yeah. But yeah, that's how that went. And, to get Jook over to talk about some music, was a feat in itself. Right. Jook ain't gonna pull up in the ghetto for anybody.
Yeah.
And so when Cornelius, when I was approached with this, for one, I thought it was a lie, because I never heard of Dolph trying to do anything to Gotti at that point. I done heard of the shit the other way around. And two, Jook hadn't said nothing to me about no beef or Dolph trying to kill his brother. So why would I go back in there and bring up this weird ass conversation and take a chance on running him off on the potential business deal? I didn't want to take that risk.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking this is a nightmare because he might just get up and leave, spaz out on the dude. There's all kinds of bad shit.
One, I'm thinking, this a pill head. He don't know what the hell he talking about. With me being so, I guess, in tune to the streets, I'm thinking I would hear that before he would have. And by me not having heard it at that point, I'm thinking if I go back in here and say something to Jook about this, and let's just say if it ain't true, Jook gonna be like, who are these weird ass outside saying this goofy ass shit? I don't need to be over. I might not need to be over here.
Yeah.
I might need to roll. So I didn't want to take the chance, and I ain't say nothing to him about it. I came back in, we finished talking about the music, and he was just telling us exactly what we needed to do to get dropped hot to the point where it would be a go. And when he was leaving, and that's when he was approached by Cornelius and Bobby. And
Jook kind of just shrugged it off. He didn't really take it. He didn't really pay attention to it, or what?
I mean,
they did get to have that conversation with him, probably.
Yeah. He most definitely had the conversation, and to my surprise, Jook didn't say, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah, Jook knew what he was talking about. Matter of fact, Jook asked him, how did he know that? And he said that Dolph had an aunt or a cousin or something over there that lived by his dad, and Dolph had been bragging on the drill that he, sent some people to get up with Gotti. And Gotti was in the Rolls Royce bulletproof truck.
Damn.
That's how it happened.
Gets deep.
All right, so what was to your knowing, what was Cornelius and Straight Drop's relationship at that time? Because you knew both of them separately, but they happened to both be at your crib the same.
Yeah. So it's like by Cornelius coming over regularly to buy pills, which that was basically my relationship with him. Some days he might try to, hang around or sit around. You know how some of them do when they get sort of comfortable a little bit or whatever. Yeah. Now he done got into the big bro now, you know what I'm saying, calling me big bro. So, you might sit down, roll a blunt, just chill or whatever. And of course, he might see Drop or whatever, going or coming, or they might just so happen to be there at the same time or however, But they didn't even really have a relationship, so to speak. It was more so, what's up, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and they were never kicking it on their own or riding around or nothing like that. I just think that Drop, Cornelius gave an impression to Drop that he was, like that, in the streets or whatever the case may be. And if what the jury said happened is true, then maybe Drop at the last minute or whatever felt like, let me get somebody who said he liked it and they say he liked it and just, do whatever they do. But it was never a close relationship. I ain't never have a bond or none of that, and I can adamantly say that.
Right. You just said that you said Dolph was bragging to his cousin about the hit that he tried to do on Yo Gotti.
So when Jook asked Cornelius how did he know about the attempted hit on his brother, Cornelius said that Dolph had a cousin or an aunt that lived by his dad, and Dolph had been bragging about it, and that's how he supposedly knew about it. And that's how they went.
But it was a well-kept enough secret that you hadn't heard about it.
I hadn't even heard about it. Just think about it. It wasn't even never on social media. Gotti is just so secretive. He never reported it. Street nigga, he ain't gonna report it. Or whatever. So it never made its way to the net or whatever. So I had never heard of it at that point.
But what being in the streets, and then you said you had a relationship with Dolph somewhat. You can kind of see it maybe being true. Like, why wouldn't he want to get back at somebody shooting at me?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I could see that, but me being who I am, I'm thinking I would have heard that. But they just did a great job of keeping it under wraps, you know what I'm saying, so it was music to my ears the day that I heard that.
If you had to call it, what do you think started the beef between Gotti and Dolph in the first place?
I just think cause
they say he didn't sign.
Yeah, I just think that the music deal, you know what I'm saying, the potential music deal went bad. I just think when Gotti allegedly, from what Dolph said, talked down on his artists to him when he was trying to sign him, when he was like, I ain't got to hold your hand like I got to hold Starlito hand, like I got to hold Z's hand, and you got your own motion and woo. And Dolph did a few interviews saying how Gotti was a sucker in his eyes for talking down on his artists to him to try to sign him. So I think that just, all of it just played a part in it, and just one thing led to another, song started being made, and, and there you have it, Everybody want to be like, they ain't going, and they superior, and don't nobody want to stand down. So I just think that's how it happened.
You feel like the bond Dolph had with Gucci Mane kind of like...
Of course.
Because at the time they were saying that, I think Shakur was messing around with Yo Gotti.
Yeah,
messing around.
I mean, Yo did an interview and he said that.
Yeah.
On camera. So I don't think Gotti will get on. I don't think he'll risk his reputation and all of that on camera by saying that and it ain't true.
Because we've seen Gucci squash his beefs from that era of his life, 2013,
With several other
2014.
people.
A lot of people he's basically patched stuff up, but there are a few notable exceptions. Gotti's one of them. Waka Flocka's one of them.
Yeah.
That we just still haven't really seen them get cool. And there was a lot of rumors or stories being told about Gotti pulling up at Gucci's house with a gun and shit like that.
I don't think that's true. I think when they had the issue back in the day about when Gucci had the issue when Gotti was supposed to drop on 10/17.
Okay, yeah.
And they had a show coming up soon, right after Gucci went on the radio or whatever it was and had his rant. And so from what I was told, Gucci didn't show up to that show because it supposed to have been like immediate smoke after that. And he didn't show up or whatever. But yeah, so if he didn't squash his beef with Yo like he did everybody else, I think it's more so about the girl, his wife. And no disrespect to her, but would you be willing to squash some beef with somebody who had sex with your wife? Maybe while you was in prison, I don't know when it was or whatever.
Oh Lord.
And supposed to be your friend.
Especially it's like if they've disrespected your girl. Like it's one thing if maybe they slept together before you were together, but if they've been disrespectful about your girl, that's usually the thing that you can't get over.
What if it wasn't before? What if they slept with a wife?
And then we're really talking.
Exactly. So that's probably the reason you'll never see that beef squashed.
Because you basically have to like go against his wife.
But what I don't understand is how you could be mad at Gotti and not be mad at your wife.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I guess it's, just different, they move how they move, but me from where I'm from, I ain't gonna be mad at him and not be mad at her.
I mean, when I interviewed Stan G, who I don't know, does that name mean anything to you? You're a Stan G fan?
Am I a Stan G fan?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know he was anybody to be a fan of.
Well, he's a content creator, We had him on here. It did pretty well. Some of the clips went pretty viral.
Yeah, that probably was more so because of you and your fan.
Okay. But anyway, one thing that Stan said, was that he said that basically like Gucci, if he doesn't like you, he will take the rappers who might have a little bit of buzz from your section and sign them and basically like kind of go out of his way to create controversy or beef with dudes from your section. And that in Stan's mind is the explanation for why certain artists from Memphis got signed to Gucci is basically because that was Gucci's way of sort of subliminally beefing with Gotti.
I think whoever that person is you're talking about is right to a certain extent because, for him to have it's talent all over the world. And he had hella interest in the artists here, in Memphis. And a lot of the artists that he signed were artists that was in, I guess, rival neighborhoods, things like that, Gucci ain't dumb at all, So I do think there was a way of like subliminally trying to antagonize Gotti, or whatever. Like I'm going to get the talent out of your city. You supposed to be this big CEO, and I can't tell, I guess, so to speak.
And it's like from Gucci's perspective, it's like if he could spend $20K, $30K, whatever it might be to sign an artist, and then basically create like a permanent thorn in the side of a major rapper that he does not get along with. I mean, that's kind of attractive. He doesn't have to get his hands dirty at all. And he basically like creates an op for him in his own city, never has to really engage with it, but also knowing that the rapper realistically is not going to say no to this big opportunity.
Exactly. It also created a sense of protection too, especially if you come to Memphis. Because Gucci, he signed some credible street dudes. FTO Set, Can't forget the other one. I forget.
Shiesty?
Blue Shiesty,
Yeah, for sure,
yeah.
Shiesty. Yeah, for sure, Shiesty. Yeah, that was. You don't even have to mention Shiesty name.
That was like the greatest success of his current 1017.
Yeah, I forget. It's another one that's from North Memphis. Yeah, I can't remember.
Big Walk Dog. Was he from there or was he from Texas?
Where Fujiani from?
Fujiani. He ain't from Memphis. Yeah, he ain't from
Where were you at when you found out that Young Dolph got shot at Makita's Cookies?
I was actually going headed to my brother's car lot, and I had to go and holler at him about a vehicle. So I was going down Lamar and Crump at that time.
And how did you hear it? Was it on the news or like tweets or
social media? My phone started buzzing. I started getting a couple calls or whatever, and so yeah, that's how I found out.
And then instantly, you probably seen the viral pictures because I seen you say on Vlad, because initially, Straight Dropping them didn't get charged with it at first, but you said the streets were already trying to charge them, or not charge them, but saying that Cornelius and Straight Drop had something to do with it. And you were seeing that on the internet, like seeing the pictures outside of the house, and everybody trying to say Straight Drop had something to do with it because he shot the music video there. Is that where you was getting that information from? Just the social media of people saying that because of that?
Yeah, for sure. You know, social media, you know, that shit spread like wildfire, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, like I said, I started getting calls or whatever, and from other people seeing things on social media that I wasn't seeing. And so, yeah, it was more so, and then the things that I was seeing, it was more so related to Straight Drop because Cornelius basically was a nobody. You know, so whatever I seen in the beginning, it wasn't nothing Cornelius. It was just Straight Drop.
And how many days was it before Straight Drop started becoming basically the number one suspect in the eyes of the YouTubers and the community?
Shit,
that same day.
It was the same day. Okay,
that same night.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, I'm assuming that you weren't thinking, "Oh, I'm going to get charged with this." You were probably just thinking, "Damn, I wanted to sign him." And I thought this was going to be a great opportunity, and it seems like he fucked that opportunity up.
In the beginning, of course, I'm not thinking that I'm going to get charged, you know, because I know in my heart that I had nothing to do with it. When I started to have concerns is when my previous attorney that I had before Manny, he reached out to me on Super Bowl and called me early in the morning and was like, "Govan, what you got going?" I said, I'm just at the house, Massey, what's going on? And he said, I want you to meet me in my office. I said, you do know it's Super Bowl Sunday, right? And he said, yeah, come on, we're not going to take long. So I pulled up on him, and we're in the office, just me and him. We sit down, and he said, Govan, I've been hearing a lot of rumblings downtown about this Young Dolph case. Are you gonna need me? And I looked him in his eye and told him, I said, need you for what? Like, I ain't had nothing to do with it. I told him the part I played as it relates to the music. And he was just like, well, I just wanted to talk to you and see if we needed to get ahead of this thing. And no, we don't need to get ahead of nothing because I ain't had no parts in it. So, from me going through the legal system, throughout my unfortunate drug career, I know I could tell that he was sent to do that, my attorney.
Meaning the cops send him there? Because I was thinking like, oh, he just heard this rumor because he's so close to the justice system.
See, I'm going to tell you, the lawyers, that was one of the main reasons why I went and got an attorney from out of town.
Uh-huh.
Everybody is like a buddy system. Everybody got a relationship. From the lawyers to the DAs, the prosecutors, they all eat lunch together, they play golf together, and whatever else they do together. And so, he was, in my opinion, sent by, because I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but he was sent by someone who had high interest in the Dolph case, in the prosecution part of it from someone.
So do you think that somebody essentially sent him to sniff out if you were guilty? Like he wanted him to try to just ascertain as much information as he could
What
get?
I think the expectations were that if Massey say something to me about it in the beginning and they offer me a chance to get ahead of things, that I would go ahead and basically cooperate, so to speak, and try to get immunity. That's what I was offered in the beginning.
Okay. So if you had said in that meeting and he said, do I have anything to worry about? And if you had said, like, listen, I'm going to keep it real, I paid them to go do this, how you think that conversation would have went? You think he would have tried to basically like give you immunity to just spill the beans on the other people
Well, he had
involved?
already told me that, that he had talked to someone and they said that if I knew what they wanted to hear, that they would give me immunity. But I didn't know what they wanted to hear. So there's no way that I could have got immunity, even if I wanted it.
It's kind of a wild idea to give immunity to the guy who paid for it and directed it, but then prosecute the shooters.
Because it wasn't even, listen, when I got indicted, they told me, like, we don't even want you. Like I was a casualty of war.
Right.
Like it wasn't me that they was concerned with. You know, they know I had no, like, the people that was invested in that case know that I had no personal beef with Dolph.
Right.
They know that. What it is they, to get what they, to reach their goal and to get what they want, they had to get in bed and believe the lies of a junkie pill addict that's saying and twisting everything that had 4 years to lay in a cell on 23-1 and twist things and make them sound good for the prosecution to try to free himself.
When you said they said they didn't want you, who do you think they wanted?
Jook and Gotti.
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying. They were trying to use you to connect Jook and Gotti to the situation.
But you can't use me to connect Gotti to nothing, because I never had no relationship with Gotti. We ain't never rode to the store together, you know, ever. And just keeping it all the way G, I'm talking about like, and this on my kids. The only time I can remember having a conversation with Yo was over the phone years ago, and he had the little rap group. I forget the name of them little niggas. I think one of his name was Chris or Christyle, something. But he had like a little rap group. But anyway, I had some words with one of his artists. And I think at the time it was about a young lady, a girl, and I had said a few things or whatever, and I guess the artist had went back and said something, and Gotti knew some people that I know, and they reached out and put us on the phone. And this was before Gotti blew up, you know, or whatever the case may be. I think this was around the time, maybe right before he signed with Birdman or whatever the case. And he just reached out and was asking me, you know, what was going on, you know, and, you know, could it be worked out or whatever? And of course it could. And we put it to bed. That was the only conversation that I ever had with this man, and that's on my kids.
Yeah, because Cornelius, he basically said that you and Jook conspired together with $100,000, and I guess you were supposed to give out the money or whatever, but it was Jook's $100,000, and you were supposed to give it between him and Straight Drop. Y'all was gonna break it down, and you were supposed to walk away with $20,000.
I'm gonna tell you, I was just finna say that. You know what's so crazy? Just think about it. Anybody in their right mind, if you just sit back and analyze it. If I'm the mastermind, right, and I'm putting everything together, why the hell I gotta ask you and Drop for $10,000 a piece? If anything, I'm the one issuing the money out. And as long as I've been in the street, as long as I've been hustling, if it's $100,000 play on a person like Dolph, I damn sure ain't agreeing to no $10,000 a piece. So that shit didn't even fit my character no way.
So when you heard him saying that, what was you thinking like?
It's a goofy. Just saying with anything that come to mind to try to free himself. That's just like the situation with Wu, with Paper Route Wu. It was a time when I overheard a conversation and his name came up. Me being the kind of person that I am, and so, like, I'm big on loyalty. Like, you know, that's like one of my pet peeves. Like, you know, I got a few dudes right now that I would have threw it all away for and risked it all, like with no hesitation, that I never deal with again. And that's because of the disloyalty and how they did the total opposite of what I would have done had they been in my shoes. And with that being said, I'm just so big. Even if I hadn't communicated with you in years, and this is related to Paper Route Wu dad, you know. Me and Tang, we had a relationship back in the day. Like we used to mob together every weekend to the clubs, like. And so when it was a situation when Wu name came up one time, I spoke on the fact that like, I don't even want to hear that. Like I know his mom, I know his dad. Like, you know, I don't want no parts of that conversation. And you got 4 years to take that and twist it and to make it sound like something so enticing to the prosecution. And now you say that, and now Wu looking at it like, well, damn, I do know my mom and daddy. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't think Quit was like that. You know what I'm saying? And he right, because I'm not like that, you know. Wu know one of my daughters. You know, they grew up in the same neighborhood. And I would want Wu to treat her and protect her the same way he would expect me to around one of his kids or whatever. So with that being said, I wouldn't even cross Tang out to do nothing to his son. So, you know, that's just Wu listening to a goofy, listening to a sucker.
What all right, so like for the fans listening to this and they hearing Cornelius is basically snitching on himself, saying that he did do the shooting. But what incentive would he have to lie on you and say that you were supposed to break down 100,000 with him and Jook? Why throw that in there if there's no truth to it?
To keep from getting the death penalty, so he can go home soon. If that ain't incentive, I don't know what it is. Like, you can't come up with nothing more attractable than that. Like,
and right now his trial hasn't started yet or anything.
It ain't gonna be no trial. He just testified in 2.
Yeah.
What, he gonna testify on himself, against himself? It's over with. It's over with. He did his work. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he finna get his stamp and go do his time.
I got more. Right,
okay, yeah.
Well, you loaded over there, ain't it?
All right, so look, yeah, I got a lot. All right, so one of the things that did go viral, so I guess after you got indicted, or this was before you got indicted, your daughter, which is also a rapper, she was killed in Memphis. And people were trying to connect the Dolph situation to what happened to your daughter in Houston. Can you break down what happened to your knowledge and why people were trying to...
It ain't to my knowledge. I could just tell you the facts.
Yeah.
You know, and when she got killed, I was there, I think the next day. And so that was my issue with Flakko. Like, you know, and I think I texted Adam about it a couple times or whatever. Prior to that, I never had an issue with him. My issue was that he was promoting the narrative that she was killed because of the CMG paper route or the issues that, or my involvement in the case. And I just didn't appreciate it because it just was so, and I look at Flakko like a credible blogger. You know, I don't look at him like no goofy to just wake up and just post shit just because for clickbait.
Because there are people who just make shit up for their YouTube title. Flakko's trying to get to the truth of the matter. But he had already stood out to you because throughout this whole Dolph thing, he was kind of at the forefront of reporting on a lot of shit.
Yeah, he was already covering on it.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, and with that being said, in my opinion, in the hip hop world, I think Flakko word matters. Well, maybe that's the wrong word. I think people take him to be a credible blogger, and they probably look at a lot of the things that he says to be factual. And so when you promoting this, and when it's just totally false, it rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm thinking the Flakko that I think that I know of did the necessary homework. Like, go get the police reports. Go get the statements. All of this shit is public record. Like, and these little boys told everything.
The dudes who were involved with killing her?
Yeah, who got arrested.
Was it 6 people charged?
Yeah, it was like 6 people, you know what I'm saying? A couple girls and everything.
Yeah. And it was just a robbery attempt.
Man, they seen my daughter in the club, knew her jewelry was real, knew she was a close friend of Lil Uzi's, and they decided to follow her and to try and rob her. These little kids was from some part of Louisiana. They was migrated to Texas after Katrina and with their parents, and you know what I'm saying, and ain't got no type of ties to paper route whatsoever. Little kids, like babies. I think one of them was maybe 17 or something. And they told everything from top to bottom. And you don't think that if these kids were contracted by paper route, and they done told every fucking thing else, including their social security number backwards, that they wouldn't tell on the people that hired them to do this. Like, some shit just don't make no sense.
No, you're right.
To me, you know what I'm saying? Like, and another thing, if paper route had something to do with my daughter being killed, I wouldn't even be here conducting this interview with you. So, you know, that was my issue with it.
Do you think that Flakko knew the truth and was avoiding it because the title of, like, this dude's daughter got killed over a beef that he was involved in? That's such a good title, such an engaging idea from the perspective of a media person. Do you think that he was, like, intentionally turning his head away from the evidence that would have disproved it?
I think Flakko had and has the resources to go and confirm if something is true or not. I feel like he know where to go to get the real story. I think he ignored doing that because the storyline that was in front of him was so attractive. And he like, the hell with the truth, let me go with this. I think this is gonna generate the most views. And so for you to run with that narrative just for some views, yeah, I was upset about it.
But even prior to that, he had basically been labeling you the mastermind of all this, right? Did you feel like that didn't bother you so much?
No, that didn't bother me because, you know, like I said, I mean, for the most part, I got alligator skin, so.
And that's what the cops are saying, so it's kind of like a valid perspective.
Yeah, that's what the media, he going off what the media was saying, you know, they label me that, you know, so with that being said, it ain't like he invented that title for me.
Yeah.
You know, so, but when it come to destiny, like, just don't do that. You know, don't run with this just because it sound good. Like, you know, that shit just wasn't player to me.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Do you feel like also maybe he's seen, because people were confused by the post you made immediately, or maybe not immediately, but like a day or two after. But I think you went on Facebook and you kind of like said that it probably couldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened if your daughter didn't look up to you in a way. So maybe people took that quote that you made on Facebook or that tweet or whatever.
Have you ever went and checked out my daughter's music?
Yeah, I seen her music.
You listen to what she be saying?
Yeah.
What's your judgment off of it?
From the post, I can see you saying...
No, what's your judgment off of her lyrics? as it relates to what type of person or individual she was.
She was
Considering the fact that my daughter didn't flourish, she wasn't a goofy. So if you listen to her lyrics, what type of individual would you say she was?
I feel like she was aware of what's going on in the streets.
And for a female, you would say she might have been pretty active, I guess, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with that being said...
So that comment was basically...
Because her side of the family, like she got a couple uncles, like her uncle Leslie, like Leslie ain't no goofy, you know. Leslie been in the streets, you know, was in the streets, you know, before I was. But Leslie has never portrayed himself to be this hardcore gangster. He ain't no poodle, but he ain't never portrayed himself to be this hardcore gangster. And me either, for that matter. But I done been in situations where I either had to leave it all on the field or go home. And I choose to leave it all on the field. So I feel like she like adopted those type of, you know, traits or whatever, and was attracted to that type of lifestyle from me or whatever, so to speak. And she said it in one of her songs. Like, it was something like, I don't even want to repeat what she said, but she do something like her dad. And I don't like highlighting, you know what I'm saying, and, you know, like bragging off of those no old war stories or nothing like that. So I don't even really want to even repeat what she said. But yeah, matter of fact, it was on the song that she did with her and Moochie Grape. You know, she was talking about me. And but yeah, so that was the reason for that post, like me apologizing for being the way I am. I feel like if I was different, maybe she wouldn't, you know, been attracted to certain things and felt like certain things were cool or whatever.
What's the rumor or the story? You can confirm or deny, but did her step pops allegedly shoot you? How did y'all even have a beef? Because they saying that her stepdad shot you 6 times.
Well, I was shot 7 times.
7 times.
I ain't come on no jumper to incriminate nobody. I don't know the statute of limitations. I ain't no lawyer, but what I will say, I was shot 7 times. And it was an incident where a few months after that, he was shot 6 times. And he went on this parade saying that I was responsible for that. But that's neither here nor there. So
you don't respect that, I assume, since you wouldn't go out and say that he shot you.
Yeah, I don't respect that. Like, you know, even now, like you taking credit for when I got shot or whatever. I ain't never said who shot me, especially on the internet. Right. You know, I don't know who shot me, but I know when you got shot, you paraded around town and told everybody that I was responsible for it, and it wasn't true because I wouldn't do such a thing like that to somebody.
What was y'all relationship outside of? So I guess he's from Memphis, so y'all had a relationship prior to him becoming your daughter's.
No, we ain't have a relationship. I ain't know him. I think for the most part, and you know, I'm gonna say this, Ramo, no disrespect, but I don't want this interview to be about, you know what I'm saying, about him, you know, or whatever. But to answer your question, I didn't know him. You know, he was from a neighborhood that's close by my neighborhood, basically the same neighborhoods, and think he did a little time or whatever. So I didn't have any knowledge of him until he started dating my baby mama.
I mean, how would you describe the way that you think about it in terms of just having a child and then seeing her come of age and ultimately kind of lose her life as a result of a culture and a world that, like, you know, you may have been partially responsible for her being kind of exposed to early on? Like, how do you wrestle with that in your own mind?
You know, when I was younger, growing up, you know, it's almost like the same situation with me and my dad. How my dad was like, he was married to the streets. You know, I think I got her mom pregnant maybe when I was 16, 17 or something. So, you know, I ain't know the first steps of being a father at that point. I was still young or whatever the case may be. And so with that being said, you know, I wasn't necessarily in her life, especially when she was younger. When she got older, you know, it was moments and things like that when we would, you know, spend time together or whatever, you know, especially like when she got into certain situations, you know, she would call me first or whatever. When she went to college, she had the incident when she went to jail, and I went and bonded her out of jail and all of this. So it's like, maybe if I would have been there when she was younger, but I can't say that she would have turned out different, because I still was in the street. She still was gonna see me, her dad, no matter what I tell her, you know. If she still see me doing the total opposite, then how much good does it do? It's just like with my 15-year-old, you know, whenever I'm around him, like I can't let him see me smoke marijuana if I'm telling him you can't smoke it. You know, I just don't do it, you know. It just don't feel right or whatever. So, you know, just trying to be a better father or whatever, so to speak, I guess.
For sure. Okay. You know, one name that I was just curious about asking about, since he was so involved with this stuff historically, is like, did you ever have a relationship with Black Youngsta, or did you know him particularly well?
No, we never met. I don't know him. You know, I just know he from the city, and you know, he knew he was close to a good friend of mine that's deceased now, King Fish. And so Youngsta looked up to him. Youngsta actually from the same street that Fish from, Macmillan. And but no, we never met.
Because when you look back to that time period when the Gotti and Dolph beef was like really kind of starting to play out online and stuff, it is kind of crazy to look back on it and think that you have Yo Gotti, who's traditionally always been pretty tight-lipped, pretty quiet about beef and everything, and then all of a sudden he's got this new artist who is just acting a fool, doing all the craziest shit, pulling up to people's neighborhoods, making Instagram videos, etc. All this stuff that you don't see anybody associated with CMG doing that stuff. You don't really see a lot of rappers besides, like, you know, more underground guys doing that type of shit in general these days, just because I think people are a little bit more aware of how much the cops are watching them on social media and everything. But yeah, looking back on that, does that seem like a crazy chapter in Memphis history? Especially because I have had people suggest to me that Black Youngsta is no longer associated with CMG, and he might have took it out of his bio on Instagram and stuff.
I seen something, somebody post something on his saying that he scrubbed his social media, CMG or whatever. You know, I think you can kind of compare it to maybe the same way with me and Flip. You know, I'm sure him and Yo go through their ups and downs or whatever, but I'm sure Youngsta know at the end of the day that Gotti changed his life. And I'm sure he got a great deal of respect for Yo, or whatever the case may be. As far as Gotti being, for the most part, laid back and out of the way and to go sign Youngsta, I don't think it was nothing out of the norm, you know. Just because Gotti moved how he moved, he's still from the environment, and he's still from the, you know, he got that element about himself. He, you know, he just moved like a boss, you know what I'm saying, a CEO. But I mean, technically, Youngsta, I mean, he ain't the only fool over there. You know, ESTG, he a fool in his own right.
Mm.
You know, G get busy, you know, so, you know, he just ain't, he ain't funny with it like Youngsta.
Yeah. The Youngsta era was very entertaining.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard not to pay attention to all that shit.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, we'll probably never see another beef play out as like cartoonishly as that. Like in terms of some like real life, people losing their lives and shit type beef. I mean, that shit just sort of stands out to me as like, damn, that was a wild era. Kind of like that early Chicago drill era where everybody was just documenting all their beefing and all that shit.
That was when I first started, you know, them dissing the dead and all of that when I first got on that drill culture. But yeah, Youngsta, he a live wire to say it in a good way, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But he been playing it pretty low for what I see for the most part lately, anyway.
Yeah, he ain't really seen him pop out and say too much crazy.
Yeah, me neither, yeah.
Where were you at when you heard the news that Jook had passed away? And how did it affect you?
I think I was riding down the street. I got a call, and I just was like, damn, you know. I hated it for Big Daddy, you know. I hate that for anybody that I know, you know. It was crazy, you know. It's just, but you know, it's just the streets. You know what I'm saying? You gotta move how you supposed to move. No slippers goes.
Cause he was at a funeral and he was taking a smoke break, or
yeah, he was at a repast. You know, when they going to celebrate, you know, the life or whatever. Went outside to take a smoke break, and there it was.
You did say something that stood out to me. You said the streets already know who did it, but you feel like Memphis police ain't really taking initiative on that case. Why do you think they ain't really moving this quick?
I mean, you know, they, for whatever reason, you know, I guess they just had they interest just peak in certain cases, you know, certain situations that they may not have a personal interest in for whatever reason, you know. Young Dolph wife went on record to say that our DA requested that she endorse his campaign. So maybe that's part of the reason. I don't know, you know. I can't sit here and say that about him, but, you know, maybe so. I don't know why they take the initiative to go through all of their resources for certain cases, and then it's certain ones that they just let just be. So I can't speak on why, but I just don't understand though if the streets know how they don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of examples with other street situations where like everybody knows. Like we've all seen a video of a certain rapper who's basically involved in a attempted murder that turned into his homie getting murdered, etc. And it's like everybody on the street knows, and the cops haven't arrested the person. And sometimes it's just they take their sweet ass time, or I guess it just takes a long time to put together cases and shit.
Man, I don't know. It's I done seen some things so blatant on the internet where you look at it and you be like, man, if this shit was in Memphis, they ass have been in jail.
Yeah.
You know, like, just say for instance, the Julio Fulios shit with him and Young and Ace now. If that same shit was in Memphis, Tennessee, their ass would have been in jail. You know, you going to people's graves and, you know what I'm saying, making songs about how you killed the whole car and, you know what I'm saying, with 3 people in the car and all of that and bragging on it. Ain't no way that the prosecution would have been slobbing at the mouth indicting their ass.
It feels like down south, the attitude is like, if you're doing something that we clearly think is wrong, we're going to arrest you and we're going to figure out how to prosecute you. Whereas in a lot of like big cities, East Coast, West Coast type cities, the attitude is more like, it's so hard to make charges stick to people that why would we even arrest the criminals and the gang members, because we're going to have such a hard time putting a case on them. We need to wait until we have everything by the letter, every last detail, so that we can try to prosecute somebody, which is like down south just feels like a totally different energy.
I mean, I agree because, you know, a couple lawyers in my situation, they said, you know, the DAs have they supposed to have like a legal obligation to not move forward with cases that they know or feel like that they can't prove, you know, because you just creating a prejudice for the defendant for no reason. You're just taking them through a hardship. And that's what my attorney was pretty much saying. Like, you know, they just basically derailed my whole life based off of the lies of a pill junkie, you know. And so, you know, with that being said, that's why we got to where we was at, and, you know, it is what it is.
Do you think if Jook wouldn't have been killed, they would have tried to charge him too?
They were definitely actively trying to charge Big Jook when he was killed. Yes, they were. They just wanted it on a higher scale.
What do you mean by that?
Federal.
Oh, word. That's what you...
Yeah.
That's what you heard?
It ain't what I heard, it's what I know.
Do you think the feds are still working on charging other people in Memphis for stuff?
Related to this case?
Yeah.
There's nobody left to charge.
Yeah, right.
It ain't nobody left to charge. I mean, who they gonna charge? I mean, it ain't nobody to charge.
What was your moments like sitting in that courtroom, waiting for that judge to read out your verdict of you being found guilty or not guilty? Walk us through that day, knowing that you might get sentenced, or you could be possibly sentenced for life.
The night prior was rough. I had a couple negative people in my ear, you know, just like a couple of the homeboys. Man, ain't no way I'm walking in there tomorrow. Man, you crazy as hell.
Yeah.
You finna walk back in there and let them folks say guilty and handcuff you. Man, you gotta make them do their job. And
What, they were telling you to go on the run?
yeah, the day before the verdict. As soon as they started deliberating, I had a couple partners, you know, and they was like, man, man, you tougher than me, man. You're nuts, man. Like Paul Bunyan. Ain't no way I'm going there tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit. They'll have another news story. Quit on the run.
Because mind you, you're out, for the people who don't know, you're out on bond at this time.
Yeah, I'm out on bond.
And it was like a $90,000 bond?
$90,000 bond, yeah.
Right.
And so, you know, I ended up talking to my brother, and I just decided to, man, just go on in there, you know, and
So running was an option for a little bit.
no, I wasn't gonna say it was an option. It was funny.
Yeah.
I was listening to my partner them call me, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Man, I ain't ran in all this time, you know, I ain't finished, you know what I'm saying, you know. But you think about the what ifs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, you know. And but with that being said, you know, just going through, I mean, if you go back to the first day of jury selection when I signed the deal for the 10 years. And
Dolph family rejected it.
Yeah, they rejected it. And you know, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to sign the deal for the 10 years, you know. But it's like my attorney Manny, he got a lawyer friend from Memphis named Leslie Ballin. And Leslie worked on a case with him before. Might have been with Pac-Man Jones or somebody. But he came in the room and he was like, Govan, you ever been to my office? And I said, nah, Leslie, ain't never been to your office. And he said, well, I got a pair of dice on my table. And he said, sometimes me and my colleagues, you know, we play dice. And sometimes we'll gamble a little bit. Not nothing major. He said, but when we do gamble, you know one thing that I don't gamble? I said, what's that, Mr. Ballin? He said, nothing that I can't afford to lose. He said, Govan, you got a son, 2 sons that love you to death. You can't afford to lose your life. Take the 10 years. And so when he said that, just me being in the streets, it made sense to me. You know, why play with my life? Why, you know, risk everything? If I can't do 3.5, 4 more years, then I should have been a deacon.
To me, I was kind of surprised when I first heard you say that in the Vlad interview, just because from my perspective, it's like, if you really didn't do it and you really don't feel like they have any really truly convincing information that they're going to bring to the table, I don't know. I mean, I understand like wanting to eliminate the chance of doing like a really extremely long sentence or getting, you know, many decades, but shit, I don't know. It's just so hard for me to imagine pleading guilty for something that I didn't do.
See, you know, I was looking at it from, you know, the big picture, you know, with all the media coverage, negative media coverage, everybody saying I'm the mastermind. I felt like it was going to be hard for any normal person to put that to the back of their mind and say, let me give my verdict based off of what's in front of me. So that was one of my biggest fears and one of the main reasons why I decided to sign for the 10 years. Because I just thought that the media coverage had like a major negative effect on my case and had me like handicapped, so to speak. So I just wasn't at that point, you know, and then my lawyer, Manny Aurora, the whole time, Manny was like, well, we going all the way, you know. I mean, he like at the end of the day, you know, you make the decisions, but if I'm in your shoes, we going all the way. All the way up until maybe a few days before trial, and I told him about a conversation that I had with my son. That conversation kind of made Manny change his tune a little bit because he has an autistic son as well, but the conversation that I had was with my 15-year-old, not my autistic son. And he was just like, you know, if based off of the evidence that they had, if I lost and lose my life, you know, and be gone from my son, he was just like, he don't know. He just said it would have affected him as well, you know, and he said he probably wasn't able to practice law anymore after that. And when he said that, you know, it kind of made me feel like, you know, he really invested and he really cared about me, you know, my son, and just knew that he was a genuine person for him to even say that, you know. And because he asked me, he was like, Govan, can you do some more time? I said, yeah, depending on how much it is, yeah, I can do it. And so when we came with the 10, I just felt like it was the best thing to do, and did it, and they took it to the family, and they said no. So here I am. Evidently, you know, it wasn't meant.
I mean, it's got to be a crazy feeling for them because they almost had the person who's the mastermind allegedly behind their guy's death doing 10 years, and then instead you're out here doing podcasts. Like their miscalculation there seems pretty intense. Although I also wonder, like, do you think that they unanimously agree that you're guilty? That's like 100% the feelings. Everybody associated with PRE think that you're the dude too?
No, I can't say everybody, because I've had conversations with people that's associated with Paper Route that know me. They know me personally, and they know that I wouldn't do something like that. They know I've always been a hustler. I had $10,000 in high school. So for me to agree to $10,000 to take the life of someone as talented and famous as Young Dolph would be diabolical, ludicrous. Now, if you said $1 million or a couple million or something, then maybe we might have something to talk about. But $10,000? I can go and ask a friend for that. Like, I don't have many friends, but I got a couple of them that are in dire need, they would do it. So why would I go and try to take this man's life that got kids of his own? And it just ain't me.
Yeah, I mean, we probably all kind of have a ballpark idea of like what people could get paid for murders. And it's like $10,000 is so not worth the percentage chance that you get caught. It's not worth the danger that you're putting yourself into in that situation, because obviously he's with people with guns that are going to shoot back at you or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, just in general, it's like if you want to make 10 grand, I mean, especially somebody like you who's got a street acumen, I'm sure you could think of 10 different ways to make 10 grand that would be
Correct.
infinitely less risky.
And you know, and when they came from Cornelius, you got to judge it off a lot of the other lies that he told. Like, example, in my trial, when the lady that's like his grandmother testified and took the stand. If you notice, when she took the stand, she said a lot of great things about Cornelius, about him helping her at the store with groceries and all of this, a lot of good things. But when she was asked about when he said that she received $800 and a note from someone related to Justin or associated with Justin after the murder. And he testified to this on the stand. And it's in discovery. This lady who has no dog in this fight, no interest at all, said that didn't happen. I don't know this lady. Never met her one day in my life. And so when she was asked about this, and for her to say that she's fed Cornelius, gave him shelter before, during the course of knowing him over 40, 30 some years, if he said that she received $800 in a note, he a damn lie. So here it is, we about to possibly send someone to jail for the rest of their natural life based off of the words of him, and he would lie on this old lady like his grandmother and involve her in this dangerous case, all because of his part of his lie for him to try to come home. Not knowing that these people, or I was gonna hire private investigators like Quantrell Fletcher, that was my private investigator. Like, and for them to go and dig and find out if these crazy things he's saying are true or not. So he didn't think that far. And so, you know, that should kind of put it more in perspective of what kind of person we dealing with. If you allow an old lady like that, that's like your grandmother, and involve her in something like this for no reason at all. That's just crazy to me.
How did you feel? Did you know Straight Draw Brother in advance, or
Jamarcus?
Yeah.
Nah. I never met him, never
Or
seen him. Matter of fact, before the case, I never knew
that he had a brother.
I never knew. I know he got a brother by his mom, you know, but I think that brother there that testified against him, I think they got the same dad. So I never knew of him, never heard of him, you know, a day before in my life.
Right. So so it wouldn't have been surprised for him to testify against since
it wouldn't, you know, from the kind of person that I heard he is or whatever. It's not surprising. I you know, from what I hear he's was a good kid, you know, good person, working type of young dude or whatever the case may be. So when you involve them kind of people like that in street shit, that's what happened. You know, they do what regular citizens do.
So how'd you actually feel when you heard the not guilty being read out?
I mean, it was just a relief, Adam. I mean, you know, leading up to that, prior to that, to kind of go back to Remo question, it's a feeling that I wouldn't wish on nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I done been through, man, Adam, I done been shot 7 times. I done been in all type of shootouts. Growing up in the Orange Mound community, you name it, I done seen it. I've been through it all, and that feeling right there. It's one thing to be waiting on a verdict, and you could possibly get sentenced to 8 years, 10 years. But when you waiting on a verdict, and the rest of your natural life on the line, it's a whole different beast. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have some. And that's just like, shout out to Wack. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wack, I heard some online, and Wack was actually taking up for me, surprisingly. You know, Wack was like, you know, y'all sitting up saying, you know, he a rat or an informant, but he just dropped his nuts and went all the way to trial. The whole way. Like, you can't line, you can line 10 more niggas up and probably 8 of them will tuck their tail and sign for whatever on the table. I went all the way. If I wanted the easy route, I could have testified against straight drop and went home. Like, that was an option for me. I could have did that and got probation. I held my nuts and went to trial. So, you know, some of the shit they say just goofed out.
I mean, what was the logic by which they were calling you a snitch?
I mean, maybe it's based off of, and that's a great question, Adam. So I was in federal prison before, right? And it's a certain TV personality. The other day, he showed something online where it was like, well, my name was attached to some paperwork of a guy named Terrence Yarbrough. And that is true. And what happened with that is, see, what they do is they tell you half the story. They try to make it seem, you know, favorable or sound good or whatever. They don't tell you the fact that he was a child molester. Well, I ain't gonna say child molester. He pimped out underage girls. And they not gonna say that I made a phone call for him on my phone as a favor, like how we do in the blocks. Nigga can't get through to their people. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, make a 3-way call for me. I make the 3-way call for you. Just so happened, they already listening to my phone calls thinking that I'm gonna be calling Fish and my brother Big Baby, or, you know, or whatever the case may be. And when they hear me make this call for him and he get on my phone and call his sister and get to saying, erase the files out the computers, all the underage girls and all of this shit. And then a few weeks later, they reach out to my attorney, the sex crime police, and he tell me when I call home that he want me to call. And so when I call, he tell me that they reached out, and I'm like, reached out to you for what? I don't deal with no sex crimes. And he was like, calm down, it ain't about you. So when it was brought to my attention what it was about the phone call that I made. They played the whole phone call. And there was some things that was said on there that I don't think no male in this room would have said, especially about underage kids. And I said, that ain't me. And they said, well, we know it's not you. We just, you know, wanted to hear what you had to say.
But from the perspective of the law, if it took place on your phone, it's a fine line, right?
Yeah.
They feel like you officiated this phone call. Who's to say that you weren't basically standing right there listening?
Yeah. Or who said it's not you changing your voice?
Oh, sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they had to clarify that.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was indicted for a gun, and I think I had some marijuana in my pocket. It's a 924G and a 922C. They was offering me 15 apiece, 30 years. And when they said that if I made a statement basically saying that that wasn't me, on that phone call saying inappropriate things about underage kids, that would help me out tremendously. Now you go find me, well, maybe it is another stupid ass nigga around here that he's so real that he gonna say, yeah, that was me on that phone call talking about underage kids. Go find me one. You might can find one, but it ain't me. So that's where
So the whole snitching that you did, or cooperating, quote unquote, that you did, was basically just saying that wasn't my voice on the phone. Out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, nothing further. I didn't testify at his trial or none of that. That alone, me clarifying that wasn't me on that phone call, turned my 30 years to 5.
Mm.
So, niggas been knew about it. It ain't no secret. I stand on it. Ain't no nigga gonna do nothing about it. And it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that's snitching accusation culture gone too far, if that's going to be the kind of thing that people are taking issues with. Yeah.
With that, I know one thing, like, I ain't him. I ain't that real. I ain't finna say, yeah, that's me. That was me on the phone.
Yeah.
So you got me fucked up.
For sure.
Whoever don't like it is what it is.
So, I mean, just in general, even before the verdict came out, you're dealing with the fact that you are now essentially a celebrity, especially in Memphis, but really kind of countrywide as well. After like your whole life, you were basically, doing your thing without having a ton of eyeballs on you. Once you get not guilty, then all of a sudden it's like there's opportunities for you. Had you been thinking about that before? Or were you just 100% focused on the case? And was it strange making the decision to start doing interviews and 20 versus 1s and things?
Well, I knew it was going to be, if I say that I wasn't aware that it was going to be some opportunities out there, I'd be lying.
Right.
One, I had already been communicating with Vlad during the case. 2, me and Brick Baby had already been chopping it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From prison or before he got locked up?
Before he got locked up.
Got it.
Yeah, this one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was, this one he was running with Sharp. Yeah, Sharp.
Got it.
Yeah, him and Sharp was in Vegas and shit a lot. So me and Brick, we was chopping it up, and he was like, man, we got to get you down on no jumper and woo and all of that, So, I was aware that there was some opportunities out there for me, and what person gonna turn that down? Considering everything that I went through.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a reward tour, a little bit of a victory lap to be able to like have all these people interested in you, even though it's funny because like 20 versus 1 is basically like a dating show. And the idea of like taking someone who's, just beat a high profile murder. I mean, honestly, the Woody thing got me accustomed to whatever. Cause it's like, oh, so this fool went on, took the stand and just talked super crazy, spun the whole trial. I mean, after I saw that, I'm like, all right, anything goes now.
But it's like, as it relates to Woody, though, as far as him telling, you still got to give Woody his props, though.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
nobody ever told as good as him.
Yeah, you crazy.
I mean, as the full picture, I
mean, I look at it like this, Woody had his reasons for doing whatever he did in the beginning. But Woody's so much of a good dude and got a good heart, like, he couldn't see himself being the reason that Thug went to jail for the rest of his life. That's just the kind of person Woody is. When Woody was on that stand saying, I don't recall, Woody ain't retarded at all. You know what I'm saying? I have long, in-depth conversations with Woody. You know what I'm saying? Woody, we pray together. You know what I'm saying? All of that. Good dude. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I just feel like he get a bad rap, so to speak, with a lot of people or whatever, because at the end of the day, whatever happened in the beginning of the case happened, but they don't speak on the fact that he the reason that them niggas free. They don't speak on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They always gonna talk negative about him and what happened in the beginning, but speak on the fact that he did what a lot of us wouldn't have did. He came back, stood on business, played like he was retarded as a mother, and freed everybody.
Definitely not a strategy that anybody would have been able to predict.
Correct.
We didn't even know that the legal system could operate in such a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, just as long as we're talking about the Woody thing, what's your perspective on all of the recordings that have come out of Thug and his interrogation tape and all this? It feels like hip hop is kind of split between whether he deserves the snitch reputation or not at this point.
Man, I think if Thug was a rat, the whole Atlanta would be in jail. That's just my personal opinion. I think Thug said some things. See, a lot of niggas that's speaking on this ain't never been on 23-1 like we have.
Mm.
When you locked in a cell 23 hours a day and you get 1 hour, and some days you might not even get the one if they short staff. You know, I think Thug was just on the phone with his girl, just venting, just saying things like, example, like the shit he said about Glorilla.
Yeah.
Like, anybody look at Glow and Glow ain't nothing ugly about Glow.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, does Thug have a certain standard of women that he probably date? I'm sure, yeah. You know, them exotic women or whatever, but I'm sure he probably was just, just talking. You know, she was new in the game and she probably wasn't as beautiful then as she is now or whatever. Maybe that's what he meant to say.
She has had a glow up.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, when you get money make you look better.
Yeah.
You know, that's with anybody, you know.
Sure.
And so, but she was never ugly, you know. She just added the money to it and it's just kind of like enhanced certain things, you know. So, yeah, but as far as, Thug or whatever, I just think like the issue with him and Baby, the issue with him and a lot of his peers and friends, it seemed like they kind of like unfollowing them and things like that or whatever, Some of this shit I think is kind of being blown out of proportion, especially like with Baby, when he called Baby lame on the phone. So I'm waiting on Wham lame ass when he was trying to put the album out. You know how many partners that I die for I done call lame?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Some of it is getting blown out of proportion. You could read between it.
Yeah, like I could be waiting on one of my homeboys to come pick me up. If he taking too long, I'll be like, man, whole ass, nigga, lame ass. I love him to death though.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And if Thug don't love nobody, he love Wham. So yeah, I just think, he just getting a bad shake on,
We haven't seen like a lot of the people that he says shit about really like react to it besides QCP, who's kind of the most extreme example. And it's also like the person that Thug might have said the most extreme shit about because, Dirk can't be too mad about Thug being frustrated about not getting a verse right away. Or even with Future, it's kind of like he did call him like a dumb ass dude or some shit, but he was
and a deadbeat.
But yeah, he was given his judgment on Future having all these kids out of wedlock and shit, which if you're really homies, you probably should be telling your homie that. Like, you don't need to keep nutting in all these girls and stuff. I didn't feel like that was that extreme, but for QCP to realize that Thug and other people were talking about him and calling him a snitch behind the scenes, that's probably the one that's not gonna just go away.
Yeah, and it's like, but when you look at Thug though, just damn baby, what was Baby little partner name? Lil Steve. One used to be with Baby all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Thug exposed him being a rat. And so Thug done always stood on the rat, the no snitching shit or whatever. So if Thug is who he say he is, I don't think that's the first time that he's mentioned to Baby how he feels about Pete or whatever. And
for all we know, Baby might agree because Baby's locked in a contract. You don't really get to have an opinion.
Exactly. Baby, because Baby, quote unquote, he don't deal with rats either.
And he don't follow QCP no more, so we kind of see that him and QC.
That's serious.
See, now I ain't know that. That's music to my ears.
Yeah, they don't follow each other on social media anymore.
But why now? I mean, you been knew P cooperated, you know, and I don't know P personally, you know, or whatever the case may be, but I mean, if that paperwork, what they is showing is true, because I do know they have doctored paperwork, AI, a motherfucker in our generation now.
Mm-hmm.
But if that paperwork is true and the interview that I seen that the victim's done and all that is true, then yeah, P told.
Part of the crazy shit too is Thug just saying everybody in Atlanta been knowing about that. It's new. He goes, Jay-Z might not have known until then, but everybody
About
in Atlanta,
what P did?
about P telling allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, they say it's old. They say some old shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, or whatever. But like P said, though, P said he ain't no street dude.
Mm-hmm.
He said he a citizen. And from what Whack 100 say, you know, the same shit that apply to street niggas don't apply to citizens. So if that's what P label himself as, then, you know, he shouldn't be held to the same, I guess, standards, so to speak, or whatever. Maybe he just a regular square dude that made the right investment in hip hop. And, you know, it is what it is.
You think Thug could be calling Gunna a rat if he kind of on there saying, and yo, I'll take my number down, I'll holler at you, just don't tell the world. And then Gunna did the same kind of dry snitch shit where he was like, yes, man.
But
what's
bro,
the difference to you?
But bro, you gotta look at it like this. Like Thug say, signing that piece of paper could have got him life. You know what I'm saying? It's different. Like he stood up in court and said, Thug and them trying to label YSL as a label, hip hop. You stood up in court and said they was a gang. And I ain't saying what Gunna did is right or wrong, because it ain't my business to be speaking on Gunna. Like, I don't know the man or nothing like that, you know. But if it was one of mine, my homeboy, how they was together every day, then I would have rolled that shit out with Thug. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like Thug said, I don't know if he was trying to get to the girl in the Maybach picking him up or what, but, you know, yeah, I would have rolled it out with him, especially knowing that they ain't had nothing on Gunna.
That's the crazy part.
Nothing. You know, the only thing they had on him was one rap line or some shit he said in a lyric or something. Other than, man, ride that shit out. You been partying and all the beautiful women in the world. It's time to take a break.
Yeah, I think the Thug interview made Gunna look a little selfish. I think we all looked at Gunna like, damn.
Yeah, just look at Yak them and all of them. You don't think, you know what kind of deal they offer Yak? To say Thug did and ordered this and ordered that? I know Thug and Yak ain't cool now, but, you know, Yak held it down for the most part. I know the interview kind of looked crazy. He did.
Yeah.
See, that's the weird thing about the standard for snitching is that it's like you can be the best guy in the world 99% of the time, but if one time you sat down and said the wrong thing, one wrong sentence to a cop or in an interrogation room or whatever, then that's going to be enough for them to basically permanently write you off. And even in the case of like the trial, you've got examples of certain people who might have said, I'm down to tell, and then the rest of their behavior didn't really tell that story. And
man, it's just like with Thug, you could even say Rollo. Do I think Rollo a rat? No. What I think Rollo did was try to finesse the system. And what we call in the federal system is getting the feds the time back to him. And I think that's what he tried. I think he tried to run a play. You know, they do it all the time. You know, sometimes it go right, sometimes it don't, or whatever. But, and that's another thing. If Rollo was a rat, I think a lot of niggas in Atlanta would be in jail. You know, so, you know, I just think, man, you know, they got a lot of goofy shit going on. Young Thug, he said some things in an interrogation or whatever, but didn't nobody get locked up behind it or whatever, you know. And like Thug said, you know, he told when him and Rollo was going back and forth, he said, you know, I tried to free my man, you tried to fry yours. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I ain't saying that's what Rollo did, but, you know, yeah, I don't think Thug was saying nothing intending to try to incarcerate nobody. But see, you go back to the old days and to the old heads, like, you know, in the old law, you know, like the conversation that's being had in the interrogation room, like it don't even supposed to get that far.
Mm.
You know, like in the old days, the real gangsters and can we talk to you? Call my lawyer. You know, and ain't nothing else to be said after that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even get to the interrogation room.
Ain't no spinning.
Yeah, how can you get to the interrogation room without agreeing to go? So it's different, versus back then and now.
Yeah, I mean, even like the thug interrogation apparently took place when he was just walking through the mall. He got pulled aside and into the back room for like causing a disturbance or some shit. And then he chose to just talk, like just tell him all kinds of shit. Now, his excuse is, I didn't actually give him anything that got anyone arrested or convicted for anything. And if you really kind of drill down into most of his statements, it's like, okay, you're saying that PB Roscoe was holding Wayne's drugs. Like, all right, that's not really like that crazy. Or
they not finna go back. They can't go back and,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that old goofy shit.
Definitely not.
What's that, a misdemeanor?
Yeah, definitely not the thing that like the average person is thinking of in terms of what you're supposed to be quiet with the cops of. But like, if you're just talking to them for hours and hours in general, you can't really blame people for.
You know how much real street shit that Thug probably know about?
Oh yeah,
that he could have told them people if he was really a rat.
Yeah. All of us. I mean, really, all of us, if we had a gun to our head, could probably cough up a lot of stuff.
Man, listen, if I was really me, I've been running with real street dudes, street cats my whole life.
Yeah.
We done like, I got individuals that love me like cook food because they know that we done everything it is up under the sun, and I done been in those situations. I just was in one. Where I could have did and said some horrible things about people that I grew up with and that I got a relationship with, but I ain't go that route. I took it on myself, and I chose not to put none of my friends or any of that in jail just because I was in a jam.
To all the Young Dolph fans who, even though you beat the trial and you beat the case and they still gonna run with the narrative, I think this nigga guilty. I think he did it. Where the 100K at? Is it a thing for you to prove, or do you care to like for them to know that you're innocent, or you're just gonna let them believe what they believe? Like, how important is it for them to know?
In the world that we live in now, with the trolls and all of that, I mean, I don't care, I guess, because the internet, just the internet, like, I guess you can say like with the Wu situation, I care about that to a certain extent. Not that it's about Wu or nothing, because Wu a little kid to me. I got kids his age. You know what I'm saying? It's about the respect that I got for his mom and his dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, things like that matter to me. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, I wouldn't want his mom or his dad to bring no harm to one of my kids. But far as like some fans feeling how they feel about me, I don't give a fuck about that shit. It's like, get in line. Like, people been hating me my whole life. Ain't never bothered me. Ain't never had no type of negative effect on me because I'm going to do what I want to do, go where I want to go. I pulled up to No Jumper today by myself.
This is true.
You don't see no gang with me, no crew or none of that. I ain't affiliated. I ain't no Crip or Blood. I'm me. Like, I ain't never needed no nigga to hold my nuts. Like, I'm what you see like across from you.
But you're probably somebody who moves around very selectively and intelligently in Memphis, I would think, right? LA is a different place.
Yeah, for sure. Or whatever, I mean, but even when I'm in Memphis now, like I was just live the other day. You can go check my YouTube out by myself. Liquor store, wherever I want to go. Like I haven't been, the narrative that I've been dodging and hiding is, and what I'm about to say now, my lawyer probably gonna be mad at me. When I was on house arrest, I wasn't on house arrest. I wouldn't hide. I was doing things that I wasn't supposed to do. I ain't never, and when I say that, I'm saying far as like, I might go get a bite to eat or, you know, or something like that. Or if I need some clothes or something real quick, go shopping. And I wasn't supposed to be doing them little things. You know, if I would have got caught, it might would have been trouble. Yeah. And when I say got caught, I'm talking about like by the judge or something like that or whatever the case may be. So I ain't been doing no hiding. I don't move around with the military in Memphis. You know, I move how I supposed to move. And that's dead on that. You know, but definitely not hiding.
But you got to know that it's probably some niggas that's in Memphis looking to run into you, though, right? Like, do you feel that aspect of it too?
In some Memphis, is in Memphis that's looking to run into me. It's kind of hard for me to agree with that because it's like, it's a lot of niggas in Memphis that dislike me. But as far as like itching to have a collision with me, that ain't something that, I mean, I would strongly advise. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't saying I'm the toughest or nothing like that, but who want to see a train wreck? I know I don't. You know what I'm saying? If I could do anything about it, and if you really, really, really wanted to find me, I mean, you can.
And if somebody wants to do something to you, I mean, I'm sure from your perspective, it's like wait until they run into you is one way to do it, or they could, you know, they could wait around for you. Like you know how a really serious dude would go about doing it, and it's not like there's a timeline on Get Back or whatever. Like they could wait an extended period of time to do something for you, but ultimately, like you going to the mall is probably not going to be the thing that causes this to boil over. Because if they really wanted to do it, they could probably figure out how to go about it.
I mean, you get niggas in Chicago. How many shootings you know of in Chicago when they go to court and they leave court, they get killed?
Yeah, a lot
here too.
Yeah, my court
more like fighting. You get to see. You actually get to see gang members fight out here.
My court dates, every last one of my court dates was advertised on TV. I could have easily been found. Like I said, I just seen 3 paper route associates a couple weeks ago. And
was Kenny one of them?
No, I'm talking about Kenny Money, a rapper. I'm talking about niggas who done put their blood, sweat, and tears in the paper route. Niggas that's from Castalia, you know what I'm saying? It's their own shit in Castalia. Like, they got actual paper route chains. And I seen them, and every last one of them shook my hand. Because they know me as a person, you know. Do they know what I did last summer? No, they don't. But me as an overall person, they know me, and the quit that they know that I wouldn't conspire to kill someone for $10,000, especially someone that ain't done shit to me. They know that.
Right. So what's up with you and Kenny? Because I seen you, you was on, I think, your page recently, and you said that you had a video of him.
Miss anything.
I try to keep up as good as I can, but like, I guess you said you got a video of him and Teezy getting into it, and you was gonna leak it. I'm like,
yeah, you know, man, and it's crazy. Like,
well, all right, what made you even want to? He said something about you
subliminally, you know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't catch
on here.
No, on here, you know, and I ain't even check his entire interview out on here. I seen some of it, but he made a post, and it was like either the same day or the next day after my not guilty verdict. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a disappointment that I beat the case, and for one, I took offense to some of the things that he said in the post. 2, I'm looking like, okay, so let's say you did invested in it. Dolph was your homeboy, your guy, you know what I'm saying? And you gonna ride and slide for him. Why would you want me in jail?
I did see the post. So basically he kind of said like, Memphis, the city failed Dolph.
Yeah, failed, let him down. Yeah.
So, all right, so you feel like, all right, if you know what I'm saying, if you're gonna stand on that, then he should want it in the streets anyway.
Yeah,
so him saying that's kind of...
Yeah, it's contradicting what you say in your music.
I feel you. That was the post that made you go through that.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And prior to that, I had no issue with the little homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Want to see him shine, get his money, do his music or whatever. We don't even know each other like that to have an issue. So with that being said, that was my response because I witnessed the fight. I seen it, you know, when him and Teasy fought about Teasy girl. You know, and Mike Tyson lost. He don't make Kenny money, you know what I'm saying, or less of a person or whatever. I just letting them know though, you know what I'm saying? You just reminding them, hey, quit playing with me. Like for real, for real. Like, you know, I ain't got no issue with you, but I don't mind trolling with you. Like we can do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like the city of Memphis let Dolph down with the straw?
I don't, because the two people responsible finna be in jail. Well, the two people that's allegedly responsible.
Yeah.
Finna be in jail for quite some time. So if you look at it like that, nah, I don't feel like they let Dolph down.
What was all right, so you and Charleston White been going back and forth. We ain't got to talk on it too much. But one of the things I did see him say that I was like, what? He paid someone $3,000 to go to your daughter's gravesite and leave a bottle of piss?
Man, if you believe that, then I taught Adam how to do this podcast shit. Man, look.
Definitely sounds like something he would say, but not actually do.
Exactly. It's definitely he, come on, you know, he'll say some,
yeah.
This Charleston we talking about here. But when I saying that, I definitely did the dashboard.
And went to the...
Yeah, I went.
And nothing was there?
Nothing, you know. And, you know, and like, you know, I can't speak too much on that situation, but if that would have happened, Charleston would have had it recorded and it would have been great content for him. You know, bad content, you know, considering what it's about, you know,
the world,
you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But you know, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna leave that alone. I think Charleston, a lot of the stuff he does is character. And it's crazy what I'm about to say. A lot of people wouldn't even expect for me to say this. But some of the things that he say when he get to saying things about kids and stuff, I really don't think he mean it. I just really think he just being character.
Mm.
Your heart can't be like that, and you still being successful. I don't think God would allow a person to be as successful as he is, knowing that his heart is riding like that. So I think he know what to say to create content and to make people come to his channel or whatever. But this the same person that, you know, was saying that he wanted to do charity work in the beginning for kids and to help kids. But that type of work don't move the internet. You know what I'm saying? What move the internet is when you come on there, the HBCU, the kids. Yeah.
I was just watching him the other day, like going off on this crazy rant about Nipsey and talking about Nipsey and his kids and his girl and all this shit. And I'm just watching it like I'm all about people saying edgy, controversial things that other people aren't willing to say. Someone who's a real truth teller who's going to just say some shit that nobody else feels comfortable saying. I love that. This is not that. This is just like dumb, theatrical, talking shit about somebody. It doesn't feel believable to me. It just feels like you're following this playbook of, oh, if I diss Nipsey, then people are going to pay attention to me. So I'm going to say f Nipsey a bunch of times. But there was no meat to it. There was nothing that really made me feel like you meant it. It just felt corny.
It's just like when we had the back and forth, when I said some things that would happen if he did what he said he was gonna do. You know, I came back and I made another video and kind of like recanted that and you know, and apologized to his mom or whatever for some of the things that I may have insinuated, because to involve someone else, you know, family members, let alone kids, you know, is crazy, you know, and to each his own. But to speak on what Vlad was just saying about the Nipsey and all of that, it's just some things I couldn't stomach to do or say, you know, or whatever, you know, especially since Nipsey gone and he did and all of that, you know. Charleston I think one day, I don't know how long it'll be, but I think maybe some years ahead, Charles is gonna come back and laugh at everybody and tell everybody how he tricked everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't no way he could feel like that about kids. Just ain't no way.
Yeah, and when people try to like kind of press him to explain himself in interviews, usually I'm kind of left just feeling like, nah, this is just stupid.
Yeah, for sure, man.
For sure. You got anything you want to hit before we tap Flakko in on this?
No, let's have Flakko in. I'm not ready to see what Flakko got.
See, Flakko just gave me some game.
Flakko bullshit.
Yeah, I did.
Flakko bullshit.
You got to, man. 22 stir.
What's up, G?
Well, I need these phones on.
To hear him good, probably, yeah.
Man, listen, man, just chilling, man. Feel me?
So Flakko, just to state the obvious, you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of smearing our friend here's name. Let's talk about it.
Hell
Flakko.
Man, hell nah. Listen, man. I made a silver nickel. Feel me? But I'll be real though. Listen, I don't think I slandered. Now, again, I will say this though. I was wrong about the stuff that we can't talk for me about now. I was wrong, and for that, bro, I do apologize. For me, bro, it had nothing to do with the murder in Houston. You feel me? And for that, you feel me? And I was 100% wrong. You feel me? But at that time, bro, listen, man, things happened just way too fast, and folks got to speculating. You feel me? So for that, I was 100% wrong. You feel me? For even doing like a video trying to implicate this man in some shit that he had nothing to do with. For that, I was wrong. You feel me? Now, the Dolph shit, I'll be real, bro. I feel like Quat is one of the savviest criminals I think we've ever came across in hip-hop media ever, right? Fam, listen. How do you catch a man for murder? And if the plot was, hey, come to the crib, we talk about it, and don't speak about it again until the murder is done. Shit like that is almost impossible to catch, especially if the prosecutors are nimwits. But for anybody to sit here and say that Quat ain't had nothing to do with it, you're out of your mind.
I mean, that's just another one of your dumbass opinions, I guess, so to speak. And which you have a right to. You know, you wasn't there. You going off of what you see. And before you came on this, I guess what this would be considered a live or a Zoom or some shit.
Yeah.
Before you came on here, I think I made a statement to Remo and Adam. Flakko, I've been in the streets a long time.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Flakko?
Me, I'm 28 right now.
Oh, you're 28. Oh, okay. I'm 45, so when I first got in the streets, I don't even know if you was thought about yet, but with that being said, it ain't no way in hell I'm gonna go on a drill or conspire and plan a drill and agree to park the car across the street from my house. Like, some shit just don't make no sense, Flakko. Like, you gotta stop going with what look good for clickbait and what's attractive to sit down. I think you are intelligent enough and smart enough to be able to dissect certain things and make sense out of it. Like, you may not be a savage street guy or criminal or whatever it was you just characterized me as, but I think you got enough sense that where if you decide to go on a drill, you're not gonna park the homicide car across the street from your house.
Man, hell nah. Fam, look, bro. Like, that assumption will be us making the assumption that street niggas are smart. Street niggas are stupid, right? Again, you was not on the drill. Straight Drop and Cornelius was. Those the nincompoops. Those the idiots. They were the ones who parked the vehicle, right?
So after, I don't mean to cut you off, so after they parked the vehicle, and let's say I did plan, conspire, or whatever, right?
Yeah, of course.
So when I realized that in your words, nincompoops parked the car over there,
yeah.
Do you know how many resources that I have if I wanted to, how fast I could have got that car moved?
How?
Man, I got at least 10 different partners with tow trucks that would have came and moved that motherfucker for me at the drop of a dime.
Oh, wait, pause. Again, this is where we go back to again. If you're saying, hey, how could you think that I'm dumb enough to park this car here? Then I'll ask you, how can you think that somebody is stupid enough to take a legal business and come help tow a murder vehicle away and jeopardize their legal business and everything they got going on and be an accessory to murder after the fact? And I'm saying is this, if there are people stupid enough to jeopardize their entire business doing that, then why wouldn't we think that you're dumb enough to say, damn, bro, like, I can't drive this motherfucker out of here because I'm not dumb enough to hop in a murder vehicle and drive it away. And if you're trying to get a legal business to tow it away, then they're idiots too, right? So hence, if you're saying there are people stupid enough to tow it away, then why can't I say there are criminals stupid enough who would shoot somebody in broad daylight? They'll be dumb enough to park a vehicle there. But here though, right? So the question for you, right?
No, I agree with you. It is some individuals that are stupid enough to park the car across the street from, because we talking about them. But you're not conversating with an individual that's stupid enough to allow that to happen, agree to that at all. No way, shape, form, or fashion. Like, I've been doing.
Here, question for you, bro.
Go ahead.
So you said that you and Dolph was on good terms before his death.
That's not what I said. What I said is that over the years, throughout the course of being in the streets and hustling, me and Dolph have did business together as it relates to marijuana in the streets. We were never best friends. We never woke up and called each other and seen how the other person was doing or any of that. If we ever had a conversation and met up, it was solely about marijuana, and we maybe stayed around each other 5 minutes at most.
No, sure. But before Dolph's death, was you and Dolph at least on a cordial, high and by basis if y'all would have seen each other?
Before his death, if I seen Dolph and we were in the same space, then yeah, we would speak. Yeah.
Cool. All right, cool.
We would have spoke because it was never a situation where I can't think of after the last time I met him on Night Honor, and that was years ago. Like, you know how long Dolph been getting money, and so he ain't been in the streets like that for a minute. So with that being said, after that, we were never in a space where, but it was never an issue or a situation where if we did see each other, that we wouldn't at least acknowledge each other. Again,
and that right there will say y'all was on some type of, again, rather it's best friends or not, y'all was cool, right? Because again, if I see somebody who I don't like, we not speaking, right? We would have to be somewhat cool or on some type of friendly basis to where if I see you, we would dap up and shake hands and speak, right? So y'all was cool.
Yeah, we definitely, again, your definition of cool and my definition of cool might be different.
Sure,
So my cool, just because I know you and we may have had a few transactions in the past or whatever, I would say, we was, I guess cordial, so to speak, maybe, My definition of cool is, well, I guess to a certain extent you could say that, Flakko, in all fairness to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we seen each other, we had no reason at all not to speak.
All right, cool. So what's your relationship with COTZ?
COTZ is deceased.
No, sure. But like prior to him dying, was y'all some unc and nephew shit? Was y'all day-to-day partners? What was your relationship with COTZ?
Prior to him getting killed, I was out on bond. And so of course I wasn't communicating with no individual, nobody related to the case at that point.
Though?
At the
Wait though. Sure.
You saying before Dolph got killed?
No. Listen, sure, but again, being out on bond really has nothing to do with the question. What was your relationship, right? Was y'all really?
It has a lot to do with the question, because when I was out on bond, I couldn't associate with anybody of the sort if I wanted to. Conditions of the bond.
No, hey, listen. Sure thing.
But if I seen, to answer your question, if I seen Teezy somewhere while I was out on bond prior to his death, then yeah, me and Teezy could have had the same conversation that we've had previously. We just wasn't in communication because of everything that was going on. I didn't care to communicate with him. You know, it was a lot of things that were done, a lot of things that were said, a lot of things happened, and things change.
I think you're downplaying like your connection to Teezy for a reason. For example, Teezy often posted that you are his OG. Mm-hmm. You are one of the people that he trusts the most. Teezy even said,
"You know what year that was? He posted that. That was in 2000. That was in 2016 when I was going to turn myself in to federal prison."
Sure. Wait.
Again, things happen over time.
No. Wait though. Hey, wait though. Sure thing. But y'all was at least close enough to where, bro, Teezy is spam posting about you, talking about, man, listen, man, when Quack come home, I'm gonna toss him the keys for 2020 bands. You feel me? So he had that much respect, and y'all was that locked in to where I don't feel like, bro, coming home and not speaking for a few months, bro, is gonna like say, hey, like bro, like we not as close. No, y'all were still very close, right? Like that was little bro.
How can that be my little bro when his name was on the witness list?
Huh?
Honda, you heard me. I said, how can that be my little bro if his name was on the witness list?
And he betrayed you, cool. But prior to you knowing he betrayed you,
how long do you don't know how long?
A strong friendship.
You don't know how long I knew his name was. You don't know how long I knew that, or how long I knew that information. You don't know. It's several reasons. A lot of things that Teezy may or may have not done to make me put distance between, or to make me not reach out to him when I got out on bond. When I got out on bond, I wasn't jumping at the opportunity of hanging with no motherfucker that might put me in a situation to violate my bond. Go ahead.
Wait, here. No, I'm talking about before Young Dolph's death, for example.
I just asked you that. If you're talking about before Young Dolph's death, then that was my little bro. Yeah, for sure.
Facts, cool. Y'all was locked in, right?
Yeah, that was the little homie, yeah.
All right, cool. What was your connection to D Money and J Money?
I mean, we all grew up in Orange Mound together. They was, they were younger, a lot younger. I know their parents. Got respect for their parents. I don't know how it is in your community growing up, but the younger kids, they kind of look up to the older guys with the nice cars and the hustlers and things like that. So, and D Money and J Money were very close friends with my nephew, Jaquiz. And that's where basically I think the closeness of the, I guess, relationship, so to speak, because they were best friends with my nephew, Jaquiz.
Man, facts. And you and his mom was close, right?
Me and whose mom?
And D Money and J Money's mom.
Yes, Michelle. Yeah. That's like my play sister. Yeah, for sure.
Man, facts. Cool. And then how close was you and Straight Drop?
I mean, Straight Drop was the little homie.
Sure, and he was signed to you at some point, or like y'all was like in like I guess like business, right?
Nah, he wasn't ever signed to me. We were just trying to put something together, trying to put a deal together, music deal or whatever. Where me and my brother would get a certain percentage for investing, in the talent or whatever.
In facts, right? Cool. And based on post and based on everything that we know, everybody around you absolutely detested young Dolph. Teasy posted how much he hated Dolph. Straight Drop posted how much he hated Dolph. Camesia, right?
Can you show me? Can you show me the post from Drop and Teasy?
Wait though, right? Wait though.
I'm waiting.
Look, wait though, right? So look, right? Look, Camesia hated Dolph, right? And that was your play system.
I don't think Michelle hated Dolph. I think, and I can't.
She didn't hate Dolph?
I don't think she hated him, and I can't speak for her. What I think you're talking about is, see, you starting to piss me off because you're speaking on some things that you have no knowledge of because you're from wherever you're from and you don't know what's going on in the Orange Mound area. Her son, J Money, was on the front line for Dolph and did whatever he did for Dolph, protected him, whatever, etc.
Sure.
So when her son get killed and these same dudes, these rich millionaires get to pump faking and tucking their tails and hiding and not answering their phone when it's time to bury her son, then of course she gonna feel some way. Would you?
But it extends beyond that, though. Yes, I'll feel.
How do you know? How do you know what it extends beyond?
Sure, she said it. So again,
where you from? Where you from? Where you from, Flakko?
What though?
No, we're gonna wait. But where are you from? Please answer that.
Born in Liberia, moved to North Dakota, moved to Philly, moved to North Dakota. So I'm back and forth, right? You feel me?
I don't believe none of that. I don't believe none of that. What you just said. I ain't know where you was born in Liberia, but go ahead, Flakko.
No. But the look. Listen though, she publicly posted that she believed that young Dolph was in business with Big Unk. And she posted that she believed that Big Unk was responsible for D-Money's death. Now, if you are a mother and you believe that young Dolph is signing or doing business with a man who she believes is responsible for her son's death, whatever she's expressing her dislike, her distaste, or her hatred for Dolph, it extends past, man, Dolphin picking up his phone for no funeral. No, she believed that this man betrayed her son J Money because J Money was protecting Dolph. She believed that that Dolph owed that family something, and Dolph did wrong. So now I'm saying
whether she believed it or not, I can't. You know what I'm saying? What you saying? I can't sit up here and tell you that what you saying is not accurate, Flakko. What I can tell you is that Michelle is a working lady, and no matter how she feels or disgruntled about whatever, she's not finna take the initiative to get in street business and try to have multi-millionaires killed. No, but she, what I'm saying is, even though she's a working lady and I'm the gangster, she still would have to suggest that or advise me, and she's not that type. She can be upset. She can be upset about somebody shorthanding her son, or she could be upset about Dolph signing someone that may or may not have did something to D-Money or whatever. But you can't, for you to sit up here and to try to create a theory like this lady advised me or asked me or anybody else for that matter to do something to Dolph, then that ain't cool. That's another one of yours.
Well, here's what we know though, Quet, okay? So look, here's what we know so far, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
So, again, common sense will tell us that if your play sister, somebody who you going over to have dinners and lunch with, if that play sister hates a man so much because that man is in business or signing the man who killed her son.
She didn't hate Dolph. She disliked what he did. She disliked what he did.
Dolph.
She disliked what he did.
Wait. Again, your play sister hated that man. I don't believe you see that man and shaking his hand. So I do believe me and Dolph was cordial and cool. That's a lie. Straight drop. Your artist hated Dolph. So I'm saying
what was Dolph's reason for hating Dolph?
Again, all I can say is it sounds like drop his True Mafia, and True Mafia turned on Dolph after the D Money and J Money shit. That, again, that's my theory. But again, no, that don't matter though. The theory is everybody around you hated Dolph. Everybody around you had a reason why they wanted to go after Dolph. It doesn't make sense for you to now say, all my partners hated Dolph, but I'm the nigga who was cool with Dolph and I would shake Dolph hand in. How could y'all think that I would do this? No, your play sister wanted him gone. Straight Drop wanted him gone.
See, that's what we're not finna do. You sitting up here saying that Michelle wanted Dolph dead. You not finna do that. And I ain't finna sit here on this interview with you and listen to you say that
was
you don't
celebrating when like he died.
You don't know her personally. You know what I'm saying?
She was celebrating when he passed away. Do you want to see it?
Show it to me. Let me see it. Yeah, I do. Show me the celebration.
Here, watch real quick.
Okay.
I'm about to.
You already said I'm getting overtime anyway, so we cool. Take your time.
No, right here. You feel me? Look, I'm about to go to my Young Dolph documentary. You feel me? Again, it's one of the best documentaries to ever get dropped. You feel me? Check it out. You feel me?
Yeah. I know it is. All the damn clickbait in it.
Nah, man.
This really was like the story that he kind of like made his name on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
He's kind of gone on to cover a wide variety of things, but this was like his first time getting 1 million views. And shit.
That's why he's so invested in it. So passionate about it.
Yep.
Wait, pause. Come on now, bro. Like, I'm not that invested. You feel me?
Shit, you so invested. You so invested. You know what other people thinking in their mind. That's how invested you are. You making up words and statements and shit for people, and you in their mind. Was you a psychologist?
And look, she was very upset at Dolph, man. Okay, here. Sorry, I gotta go to like my documentary. Feel me?
Okay.
I was not expecting him to like him to deny like not seeing her post about Dolph. 1 second. Okay, cool.
And I ain't saying it didn't happen. I just want you to show me. I ain't never seen it. I said I'm not saying that it didn't happen. It just would surprise me. She don't strike me as to be the kind of person that will go and celebrate Young Dolph's death.
Look. So Pound says, long live J Money. He would have had these streets crying about Dolph. And she responded back with the skull emoji with the dead, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, he so didn't make them cry about him, shrug emoji. That shows somebody who clearly at that point, man, don't give a fuck about Dolph. And not next. Look. And then Pound says, damn, Shell. Because he's even taken aback by her shrug. And from like, it's like, hey, he's dead, so what? I don't give a fuck. So then she says, yup, the Uncle Danny who he just signed, right? So again, and she's telling Pound, Dolph just signed a nigga who killed D Money. So I'm saying, bro, your play sister.
What I'm saying is, you still haven't showed me the post where she celebrated Dolph's death.
Niggas is right there, bro. Again,
was it a celebration? Did y'all just hear a celebration?
Shrug. Bro, that's it right there.
Did y'all just hear a celebration? Did you? Be honest, Remo. I know that's your coworker. Be honest, Remo. Keep it G.
Yeah, listen, bro.
Thank you. Remo just said he hasn't seen a celebration. I said it. You the only person on here that has you just took that as a celebration.
So what?
Post, is this Facebook or Twitter? What was she posting on this on?
It's Facebook. If somebody say, yo, long live Dolph, and she responded back with shrugging emojis, like,
what she responded back saying was, what you just read verbatim was that somebody said that J Money would have had the streets like bleeding about Dolph if he was here, right? She responded and said that.
And he said, long live Dolph.
She responded and said that Dolph didn't do the same thing for J Money.
No, she had a skull emoji.
I don't give a what kind of emoji. What part of that is her celebrating Young Dolph's death?
The skull emoji and the shrug emoji.
That's not a celebration. You know they got celebration emojis on social media, right?
Confetti.
If she wanted to celebrate.
Listen, pause, bro. I'll be real, bro. The shrug emoji sound, listen.
That's more like ambivalent.
That's more like she don't give a she don't care.
That's
You said celebrating. You said celebrating. That's what you said.
If someone says long live Dolph and you say, bro, you don't like this man. You fine, cool, past that, bro. Why do everybody around you hate young Dolph but you?
The better question is, what reason would I have to hate young Dolph? I'm a grown ass man. I don't be involved in little kids beef. And I damn sure ain't no motherfucking rapper.
Because your play sister, who you
I don't give a fuck about what nobody else. We talking about me. We ain't talking about no play sister. We ain't talking about no drop. We ain't talking about nobody else but me. I'm a grown ass man and can't nobody put no battery in my back and make me feel how they want me to feel. By you being a regular square, a motherfucker Mike can put a battery in your back and drive you and make you feel how you want to, how they want you to feel, but not me. I'm 45 years of age. I make my own motherfucking decisions and can't nobody tell me how to feel about nobody else.
You chose to kill Dolph.
You said what now?
And you chose to kill Dolph. We understand, but I'm saying, listen, don't do this interview saying I had no reason to do it when I just showed you your play sister didn't fuck with him. Everybody around.
You went to. You know what? You had to go to school. You had to go to school for psychology because you just intentionally trying to say things to trigger me. And you want to put this shit on your channel so your channel can go viral. I ain't finna be a part of it. And
man, just don't lie and say me and Dolph was cool before his death.
What you mean, like?
You know,
I know Daddy Yo. I know the leader of Paper Route. You can go ask Daddy Yo. Get him on the interview. I'm sure you got access to it. He'll tell you. I ain't got to tell you. You a clown from Liberia, like you said, that don't know shit that's going on in Orange Mound. Get somebody from the other side. Ask them. Go ask Daddy-O, the leader of Paper Route, is what I'm saying is true. And we can put an end to this, Flakko. I ain't got to keep going back and forth with you. And then you just have surgery?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be arguing with me, going back and forth with me over some shit that you have no fucking knowledge of. You going off of you are internet and you going off of the internet. You don't know nothing.
This is facts.
No, it ain't no facts. You ain't in nobody else's mind. You ain't in nobody else's head. You ain't in nobody else's head. You got somebody else. You got something else you want to talk about because this becoming redundant.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah, facts. So again, just to wrap up my theory here.
Okay.
It's impossible for you to say y'all can't figure out why I would want to do something to Dolph and we were cool when we just named everybody around you, including your play sister, who hated that man to the point, right? Who hated that man because she believed that he signed her son's killer. Where you was over her crib daily eating that good gobble.
Man, okay, how do you know? How do you know I was over there daily or once or twice to get a plate? How do you know that? Tell me that. How do you know? Because I made a post one day saying that I was coming to get a plate. How do you know? How does that equate to daily?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
How does that equate to daily? Daily. How does that equate to going over there daily versus once or twice to get a plate? Because technically speaking, I've only been over. Now let me finish. Technically speaking, I've only been over Shell's house about 3 or 4 times out of my whole fucking life. That ain't daily. That goes back to the point that you don't know shit about what goes on in Orange Mound. You only going off of what you see on the internet. You are internet nigga, and this internet shit done got you in several situations where niggas done came up here, niggas came up to no jumper. Man, we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that, Flakko.
Man,
now you like listen. I ain't saying you ain't no gangster. I ain't saying I know you. I know you the toughest. I know you the toughest worker in no jumper. I know that.
You duck my smoke.
Yeah, I'm ducking your smoke. I don't want no problem with you, Flakko. I got you. I don't want no problem with you. Hey, but you done lost a little weight though. You might be in my weight class right now though.
Oh, it's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. Oh yeah, see, I want him when he always healed up when he down to my side. I tear his ass up then. Go ahead.
Listen, bro. I'll be real, bro. Bro, you knew to show up at no jumper when I was gone.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, okay. So I got the schedule. I got the schedule.
Huh?
I know when you was going to get the lap band.
I'll be real.
How the hell do I know that?
I'll be real, bro. When you was in LA, I called Seti. I said, bro, where he at?
Boy, Seti was ducking me. How the fuck you gonna call Seti? So how you gonna call somebody that's hiding from me?
Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. Seti was stop it, bro. Listen, stop it, bro. It was a play though. That was a play. Listen, that was,
I don't know what you talking about no
That
play, because
was
I
a
don't
play,
play.
nigga.
I don't play argue with niggas on the internet.
nah, that was a play.
Well, see that's another one of your theories. But
How's it?
but listen, hey, but check this out though. Listen, slow down. You said I came to No Jumper today because you wasn't here, right?
Ducking the smoke, Quack.
Okay, ducking the smoke. All right. Well, this what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to make it my best to create some more content to get Adam and Remo to want me back. Ooh. And you make sure you have your big fat ass here when I come.
Need that though, Quay. From you too small, man.
Yeah. See, for sure. Yeah, you probably gonna be some Canelo versus Bud shit when I get back, because you seem like you losing rapidly. So and I'm happy for you though, for real shit. But yeah, I'll be back though. Hopefully I'll be back. And then if you want to get that issue, hey, look, it's so much. It's a pool table out there. It's so much fucking room, ain't number space in there out there. Man, and if I listen, no, hold on. If I let your big slow ass beat me in a fight, then I will not be allowed to get back on a plane and go back to Orange Mound. A nigga like you couldn't beat me doing nothing but eating Twinkies.
I'll be real though, Quay. I would smack the fire out you, my nigga.
Okay.
Hey, listen.
Well, why you ain't smack the shit out of that nigga that spit on you?
That's Adam, nigga.
Why you ain't smack that nigga that spit on you?
Adam is scheduled.
Why you ain't smack that nigga that spit on you though?
Back in the schedule.
Why? Hey, let a nigga spit on me. I bet they have CNN up at this motherfucker.
Who spit on me?
Let a nigga spit on me. I bet they have CNN up here.
Nigga spit on me and not die, my nigga. That's cat. Can no nigga
did somebody sit? Hey, Remo, am I retarded? Did somebody sit across from him and spit?
Ain't no spit.
He said it didn't touch him, but
did somebody spit though?
Yeah.
No matter where, hey Flakko, where I'm from, no matter if it touched you, or if a nigga even Wait. Liberia. I'm from Liberia. I moved to North Dakota and then I'm back. Yeah. But
I ain't gonna lie to Quet. PRE is spanking you boys, bro.
Who is you boys? I'm not CMG. I'm not CMG.
Man,
I'm not CMG.
Huh?
Look at you over there. You trying to think of some shit to say to trigger me, ain't you? Man, I don't care nothing about that goof ass shit you talking about, man.
Hold on, no, Quack.
Hey, man, doctor's advice you do not supposed to be doing. You do not supposed to be doing that shit you just had surgery this morning.
TZ called you Unc every day on Facebook. TZ died. Why you ain't slide just for TZ, man?
Hey, we're gonna get you in a Tubi movie, boy, the way you sitting over there acting. Because before the cameras and shit came on, you wasn't like this, Flakko.
That gangster shit.
Flakko, you was just you was so nice and humble. You was so nice and humble.
Huh?
You was so nice and humble before the cameras came on.
You was a buster, Quinn. I'll be real.
Hey, listen. Now, hey, look. Why did you let Adam schedule this? Ain't no way in hell if I was working for Adam, I would have let Adam schedule me when I wasn't at work. Man, Adam would have had to fire me. Adam would have had to fire me.
And you doing interviews?
Because I ain't scared.
Why your homies?
Why I ain't hiding? Why I ain't hiding though?
See you in the car with the windows and the foley on, nigga, hiding. Oh, no.
Hey, you must. Hey. Now you just said you a gangster, right?
Man, hold on.
Hold on, no. Did you just say you was a gangster?
Bro, man, listen.
Answer the question, Flakko. Did you just say you was a gangster?
Man.
What are the scullets for? What are the scullets for? What are the scullets for?
Huh?
What are the scullets for? What are they used for?
Again, Quet.
Answer the question. What are they used for?
To hide, Bob.
And what else?
To hide.
And what else?
To hide.
You's a goofy if you don't know the answer to that question. If you can't logically or legitimately answer that question, you either a goofy or you don't want to say that other reason because you know it's more than one reason why that's being worn.
You not doing that.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you know?
Huh?
How do you know?
Because you podcasting every week, nigga. You not sliding, nigga.
You definitely right. I for sure ain't sliding. I ain't doing no slide, Flakko. I ain't doing none of this shit. I'm podcasting. I ain't on nothing. Listen, I ain't in tour with nobody. I ain't trying to slide. I ain't slid. I ain't seen a gun since Martin Luther King got shot. Or none of that. I don't want no trouble. I'm the softest nigga around, bro.
I got a $5,000 bet for you, Quet. A $5,000 bet.
Okay, what's the bet?
If you go live in Memphis for 30 minutes, I'll give you 30 times. Listen, go live in Memphis.
Okay, listen. Okay, this is what we gonna do. This you my best friend.
Come on.
Okay, listen. I want you to you believe in Christ, God, right?
No.
You don't. You don't believe in God?
No, God, yeah. Yes.
Okay, all right. So I want you to swear to God that you're gonna send your $5,000 to Adam, and I'm gonna send my $5,000 to Adam, and I'm gonna go immediately. Soon as I get back to Memphis, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna go live for 30 minutes, hanging out the sunroof.
Ooh.
Hey, no.
I will be the escrow.
Standing on the block.
Trying to hide. He already trying to hide. Now out the sunroof. Nah, bro.
Where you want him at, Flakko?
Go outside at Makita's Cookies. Go outside at Makita's Cookies for 30 minutes.
You see how that sound? Even you say,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's the shit a goofy will say. That's the shit a goofy will say. See, only a goofy, lame would say, go stand at Makita's Cookies. Man, hey, the only reason.
Bro, he said out the sunroof. He's trying to hide in the vehicle and drive off with him.
Okay, well, I tell you, okay. All right, now listen. Now you just trying to backpedal on the bet. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to rearrange this shit just for you. All right, so when I get back, you're going to send your 5,000 to Adam. I'm going to send Adam 5. I'm going to go on my block for 30 minutes.
Sure, okay.
And go live.
Yes.
We got a bet.
Yes, outside for 30 minutes, yeah.
Outside for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We got a bet. All right, say no more.
Man, hey, listen, man. What? Bro, I fuck with you.
That's the easiest fight. That's the easiest. I just did it the other day, you damn idiot. Go on my YouTube channel.
Bro.
Go on matter of fact, it was 40 minutes. 40 minutes.
Listen, bro.
Hey, listen, we ain't got to do the back and forth and all that. We got a bet. Matter of fact, I got a video on my channel right now for 40 minutes. I really already won, but I'm gonna go do this shit again just to show your goofy ass. Just to show your goofy ass. All right, I got you.
All right, man. Peace out, folks. Peace out, Adam.
All right, peace out.
Jeez.
Wait, how do I leave this bitch?
Man,
that was more confrontational than I expected it to be. I thought he was going to be chilling, especially with the way it started.
Yeah. I knew it was going. We had to heat up. It needed to go viral, baby.
Yeah,
I
did that, man.
Yeah,
Shit.
for sure. Hell yeah, that was a good one.
I mean,
he challenged you. He said, well, you already got the live, but you said you finna do it again.
Man, you think I ain't gonna get that 5? Once Adam tell me that he has received 5,000 from Flakko,
oh yeah,
I'm sending mine immediately.
I'm on his ass, Flakko. We need that deposit.
I'm on him too about it. I want to see this.
I'm gonna invest that. I'm gonna earn interest on it.
You know, Flakko
in the meantime,
Flakko ain't gonna do nothing of the sort, man.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's a good interview though, Adam. I like it.
That was fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
hey.
for sure. I like it.
Appreciate you coming up. What okay, where do you feel like your story goes from here? Like, what are you interested in putting your time into, and what new opportunities have arisen as a result of all this attention?
Well, I'm talking to someone in particular about doing a book, about everything, about my life and how it kind of overlapped into the Young Dolph shit and all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so that's basically it. You know, been talking to a couple people about possible documentary shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Anything outside of that, dead and just regular little podcasts. Really, nothing too much. You know what I'm saying?
You enjoy the 20 versus 1?
I mean, it was different. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. The bitches was ugly as.
Oh, really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
it seemed like they set them chicks up to ask you some of them questions they was asking on there, right?
Yeah, of course.
They was trolling a little bit with the questions.
I feel like every 20 versus 1's got some pre-planning at this point, right?
Yeah, of course. But I'm gonna keep it all the way, G though. If he did, he didn't.
He didn't tell you.
He didn't tell me.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? It was raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why I sort of laughed at the one chick when she was like, "Well, what happened to the 100,000?"
I'm like, man, they don't hear
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. You
I
know
didn't
what I'm
expect that
saying?
one off the rip. She like, where the 100,000 at?
But off camera though, she was cool though. You know what I'm saying, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it was a different experience or whatever. Yeah. He got a lot of backlash for that too, because he put the Young Dolph clips and stuff in the middle of the 20v1. And a lot of the Dolph fans and family and stuff was like, they don't have an issue with him doing his content, but and then his caption, he even said something about Young Dolph in the caption.
Oh,
Yes, yeah. So they didn't really, they weren't really rocking with this. So he had to re-edit it and he finna put it back out.
Oh shit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right.
Let's end this on a positive note. What do you think is something that could probably slow down some of the violence going on in Memphis and maybe prevent some of this shit from happening?
If you get, well, if Gotti and Dolph could have came together prior to this, like someone was trying to get done, and to clear that up, it wasn't Zach Randolph.
Because you said an NBA player. What NBA player was it?
I can't give his name up because I rock with him.
Yeah.
And he ain't on nothing negative, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely wasn't Zebo, you know. I'll say this, it was a positive person. And he got a lot of stuff going on, so I don't even want to like associate his name with no type of hip hop beef or deaths and all of that or whatever, but it definitely wasn't Zebo. Like janitor dude y'all be having, Stan G up here.
Yeah, are you gonna box him?
Yeah. I was texting you, asking you to put it together.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of not gonna take on the boxing promoter challenge.
Yeah.
I should, honestly.
Yeah, you should, because I remember I was telling you how profitable it could be, you know what I'm saying? Me kicking Stan G ass. I mean, like, I mean, we could just, you know, if he gets some money from somewhere, some sponsors, we can really just do it out in here in no jumper.
Should we not believe the words that come out of Stan G's mouth? Do you think he's a cap artist?
Man, anytime, this the same dude that go on there and say that he the biggest, but I got messages of you and my manager's DM right now begging to work. But you the biggest. This the same dude that said that I was in federal prison with Stupid Duke when I was just on bond. This the same dude that just come to the internet and just say so much BS that it just don't even make sense. Like, it's the same dude that was on Maury. Like, I can't believe I'm at a point in my life where I'm actually even discussing a nigga that was on Maury. Like, and he just, you know, like, as far as knowing him from the city, never heard of him, never seen him in the trenches, never did nothing. He ain't, you know. I mean, so with that being said, believing something, I mean, he do it to himself. I mean, he done put out several things about me that was just blatantly false. You know, like, you sit up and say I'm in federal prison and I call you 2 minutes later. And then I ask you why would you say that? And he said, because the streets told him. Who the hell is the streets? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
G's in his own streets, man.
Yeah, he's in his own, definitely. I heard it. I heard he ain't in the Las Vegas streets no more. I heard he living in Georgia and like some little, like some little projects or something.
Oh, I wonder.
With a young lady.
That's a good thing about Clubhouse, is that you can do it anywhere.
Yeah, you can't see the background. Did you see that? Did you happen to see that background on that video when he OD'd?
I did see. I don't know if he's ODing, but I seen a clip of him fucked up on drugs, wilding out.
So if that wasn't ODing, what would you call that, Adam?
Being on a Seek one.
Oh, okay.
But that's what the Mexicans might call it out here. A Seek one.
Yeah. But that background though, could you live in something like that?
I don't know. I mean, when you're smoked out, you just might end up in some smoked out places.
Stay anywhere.
You can't be picky.
What they say, smoked out, loped out. Yeah, that's that old 3-6, I think. Yeah, it's crazy.
For sure. All right, thank you so much for your time, man.
Man, most definitely, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, man. For sure.
Great conversation. I know you and Flakko are going to have an interesting link up one of these days.
Yeah, most definitely, man. Like, I hope y'all bring me back and make sure he ain't on vacation.
Ooh, I like that idea. All right.
Sure.
Appreciate you, man.
For sure, most definitely.
Hernandez,
All right.
much love.
For
Thank
sure,
you for
yeah.
your time. Remo,
Remo.
Come on.
appreciate
For
you,
sure,
man.
for sure,
Donnie
for sure.
on the boards.
You did.
No Jumper, coolest podcast. Click the like button, hit subscribe. We out.